Come for the music, stay for the community. Listen at 90.7 FM or at WFUV.org.
Welcome into this week's edition of One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. What an honor it is to spend our Saturday here.
Oh, yeah.
It's 11 a.m. Saturday, September 20th. I'm Grace McCarron, joined by Kurt Sippel and Kate Cox to my right. We have a packed show. There's a lot going on. First we have to talk about, sadly, the Liberty are out of the WNBA playoffs.
Man.
We're going to have an interview. We're gonna get a call. It's gonna be great.
We're gonna have a little we'll tease that.
Yeah, we'll tease the you know
simmer.
what? We'll let the anticipation build for the call in about 15 minutes, and then we've got Giants Jets. Kurt thinks the Giants are gonna win tomorrow night. I hope he's correct. And then
it's very possible.
It's very possible. I don't know about very. Very is a strong word. It might be a thing that could happen. Yes.
The Chiefs' defense
which would be a very possible situation.
Not gonna lie, would not shut up about that for a while.
Hey man, you hand Patrick Mahomes his first 4-game losing streak in his whole career.
I mean, 0-4 for the Chiefs would be pretty unreal. But we
awesome.
we have a lot of baseball going on. We have Mets, Yankees. We have general MLB. That's how much baseball is going on. We are very close to the playoffs,
so
and then we have hockey. Hockey starts tomorrow. I'm excited.
Really weird to say hockey starts
I'm
tomorrow.
so excited.
Basketball starts in 2 weeks.
And then we might have a little game at the end.
Well, games.
Yes. We like to have fun around here. We haven't actually thought of the game yet, but we're gonna get there. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
I guess I'm chilling. Last night was really good. I was at the Mets game.
Me too.
Really good game. Wani baseball, a home run. The bullpen didn't blow it.
Yeah.
Ryan Helsley came out, and the entrance was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the week's been a little strange. I don't know. It's been moving, like, fast and also slow at the same time. I guess that's the best way you could describe it. I really just want the cold weather back.
Same.
I'm done with heat. I'm done with it being warm. Only yesterday at the Mets game.
It was so hot yesterday.
It was so beautiful, though, at Citi Field.
It was
so
beautiful.
nice.
Once it got to be dark, it was really gorgeous. But Kate, you also had a good Friday night. What did you do last night?
I went to Hamilton on Broadway.
What a transition.
It was.
That's what I do.
Honestly, I'm not going to lie, guys. It was probably the best night of my life. It was fantastic, and I want to relive it for the rest of my life. However, I'm not going to be able to. I got to see Leslie Odom Jr. back as Aaron Burr, and that was remarkable. So I'm really on a high right now. I'm so tired because I got, no sleep.
It happens.
But this always brings me up, brings my spirits up. So I'm in a good mood today. I'm ready to roll.
Now, obviously, because Kate went to see Hamilton last night, the obvious thing to do in the studio this morning was to play Hamilton.
Discuss
for everybody to hear very loudly, I might add. So, Kurt Sippel, you are apparently not the biggest Hamilton fan, which is obviously deeply wrong and flawed, but I'm going to move past that and ask you, what was your favorite Hamilton song that you heard this morning?
I guess Nonstop.
He was singing along.
I think did you
and
just
that was the
Google
first
title?
one.
I did have to Google the title.
And
because I would have called it
our
Running Out of the
first
Time if I didn't know what it was called.
And that was the first one that we played today. And right before that, Kurt was like, "No, I don't know any Hamilton." And then he was mouthing all the words, and I was like, "You're a liar."
I don't know,
It's a good thing to like Hamilton. So
No. It's not a bad thing to like Hamilton. It's the fact that I don't remember most of Hamilton. I don't really remember. I watched it in COVID on Disney Plus with my family.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep halfway through.
Okay. Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
It's hard to stay awake for one. I fall asleep during when I'm watching TV shows in general.
Right, but that's TV.
So,
this is an experience, Kurt.
The best experience of your life. You have some of the most incredible people
But
in the world singing at you.
But if I saw it live, it would be a different story. I agree that if it was live, I would be very, very locked in. Of course I would be.
Grace, how many times have you watched the movie?
I've watched the movie probably twice, and I saw it in person 3 times.
You saw it in person 3 times?
Yeah.
You're a lucky girl. I've
twice.
Last night was my first night seeing it in person.
Yeah.
The
because
tickets are really expensive.
The tickets are really expensive.
I was
really expensive.
I went
especially because Leslie Odom Jr. is back. And so that makes it kind of crazy. Yes, I know, Kurt.
I went in 2018 twice.
Man, you can't.
And then 2020 right before COVID hit.
It's the same price if the Mets have a home game for the World Series wild card.
Don't remind me of home games.
Hey, I mean, they're performing in Syracuse September 20th. You can get those tickets for $41.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
road trip.
Should we
go?
It?
I think we should road trip.
Actually,
we should road trip it.
Actually, them in Syracuse is really cheap. 55. You can get 75
I know
tickets.
what we're doing.
I know what we're. Wait, when is this?
This is today.
Oh.
Can we get to Syracuse by 8 p.m.?
Probably not.
Probably
We
not.
would have to leave here like at 2 p.m.
At 2.
Because
That
it's
is
like
true.
a 5-hour
And that's not
drive,
happening.
and we're still like it's still cutting it close because you
Yeah.
have to make stops on a 5-hour drive.
I mean, we can go to Boston.
Road trip.
That's
road trip
on
to
Wednesday.
Boston?
Wednesday. I don't have
That
class
would be
Wednesday.
great. I don't
I
have
don't have
class
class
Wednesday
Wednesday
either.
All right, guys.
All right,
Road
so
trip. We're taking the show on the road.
FUV is gonna
FUV
have a
live
vlog
from
of it
Hamilton.
on TikTok and Instagram. There will be a vlog of it.
But anyway, we're a very multicultural bunch here.
It's
at
not just
WFUV.
sports. It's
not- we have
culture,
a
it's
lot-
music.
We bring a lot to the table
It's
here.
arts.
We bring musicals. We bring sports. We bring other stuff.
Speaking of the combination, who in Hamilton would you want to be your starting quarterback?
That's a fabulous question. I wish I'd thought of that for the open. Probably okay, like Lin-Manuel Miranda, or what's his name? Sorry, not the actor, Alexander
Hamilton.
because he is so like obviously the song Nonstop is about how he just writes and writes and writes about everything, and he doesn't stop, so the prep is always there. He's always prepared.
So Griffin said my answer in my ear, but Aaron Burr hit the shot. So like,
Okay, that was one time, Griffin.
But he was a terrible shot. He says that in the song.
doesn't
so.
matter.
Also,
but
he
Aaron
regretted it. You don't want
Aaron
someone
Burr-
who
And he
regrets
regretted
it.
it.
Aaron Burr hit the shot when it mattered most, and he did it in New Jersey. So he
'Cause
might have done it
everything
in
is
East.
legal
He
in
might
New
have he might have done it
Jersey.
in East Rutherford. So that's what the Giants are
you
gonna
may
do.
never
That's
know.
actually
No,
very
wasn't
possible.
Wasn't it in Hoboken?
Probably, but like it's very possible, but that it was in that area. Considering, I don't know. I would want George Washington 100%.
Oh, well, that's a good one.
100%. He
I
is the
forgot that was
leader.
an
He is everything, and he's also other
Oh,
than
it
Aaron
took
Burr.
place
He's
in-
my favorite in Hamilton.
It
in the
took place in
musical, so.
Weehawken.
Oh, that's right. I
Okay.
knew it was one of those places. And
It was one
of those random
was one of those
places.
New
one of those
Jersey
little
towns.
towns. I don't know, guys.
Can you guys hear me if I talk in this mic?
Yes.
Yes, I hear
Currently
you.
hearing you.
Yes.
Okay, well, I won't be able to hear you, but I just want to add that I feel like if you gave George Washington like the star role, and I know he's famous for not taking over afterwards, but I just feel like he has the potential to almost leave like a Jerry Jones legacy. I feel like I think he might take over to a certain extent.
No, but
honestly,
but
I think
George
he might
Washington.
he
the
might
whole-
not like some of these younger guys that are coming through the program.
No,
like
but think
Thomas-
about
not
the
Thomas Jefferson,
song
he was
one
he
last
was the old
time
head,
where
but
he's
you know what I'm saying,
literally
like the younger
handing
squad,
it over.
I don't know how.
That's true. He did hand it over.
He handed it over.
But that's the whole point.
That's the whole
why,
point
That's why we had term
is-
limits before FDR, because he was like, I don't want to be a king. Everyone was like, you could
That's
stay here as long
right,
as you
but
want.
George
And you know
Washington is a
what?
great example of not trying to be a king.
I was going to say, it's like when players
left
know
that
when to
legacy.
retire before they get to
Exactly.
be really bad.
Exactly.
I mean, like Clayton
But
Kershaw,
he's
we'll
still
talk
kind of
about
like
it, but
He's
yeah.
still kind of like an ego guy. Do you guys know before the Revolutionary War, George Washington would like walk around wearing like a military uniform the whole time?
Yes.
And then before they were like, all right, who are we going to make general? It was just them in the room. And I'm sure it's George Washington like, I don't know, guys. Who's going to do it? Who's going to be the general? And we're like, fine, George. Like, obviously you wanted this role, dude. You wanted it.
But
well,
like,
if you
I think
wanted
he's a
that, you
sneaky
gotta
ego-
want it, Griffin. You
egotistical
gotta
yeah,
guy.
I
want
was
it.
gonna say the quarterback needs to want it.
It's like
But
what
listen-
Oasis said that time. You can have it all, but how much do you want it?
but I'm just gonna say,
I
like,
got my
I believe in
reference
him so much.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not really going off of actual George Washington.
Yeah,
I'm
I
going
was
off
saying
more
going
so
off the
going off
character.
of Hamilton.
We're
I'm
going off the
I know
character.
more. I know more about like George Washington the guy than Hamilton George Washington. So I'll take George
Okay.
Washington the guy.
I would say Alexander
300
Hamilton
I would
because
say a
he,
mix of
he
the
really
two.
wants it.
If he gets sacked, his wooden teeth are falling out too, by the way.
That is true.
That's
his
a
wooden,
fabulous
his wooden
qu-
teeth
that's a
wouldn't be
fabulous
falling
That is
out.
true.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. So you
But
do have
his
to worry about the
cherry tree is
logistics.
his O line. So
Listen, he used to live in New York City too. Just gotta say that
I could see George Washington donning the Giants blue. No,
he could. Yeah.
Who
He's
would
not
be
a
the
Jets
Jets
green.
starter? It would have to be someone really pathetic.
King George.
George Washington would have to be the Washington Commanders.
No.
Quarterback.
No.
It's
No.
named
Have
after
to.
him.
No, that's
It's
stupid.
the team's
Whatever.
named after
The
him.
District
Well, but
of
also,
Columbia.
Not that I would
what about
like that.
well, but the
but,
state of
you know.
Washington is named after him. So what about the Seahawks? Have you considered that, Griffin? You want to weigh in here?
No, I just want to say that the Jets quarterback would be now that I forgot his name again. Benedict Arnold would be the Jets
Benedict
quarterback.
Arnold.
Okay,
Okay,
that's
The
actually
traitor.
a fantastic answer.
That is a really good answer.
All right. I mean, this has been great fun. We do have to go to our first break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the big news of the day. The New York Liberty are out of the WNBA playoffs. Their title defense run is, in fact, over, and we're also going to have a fun phone call, but we'll be right back. Stick with us.
What's up, everyone? I'm Chris Carino,
I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Tucker Austin.
your Fordham football broadcasters for the 2025 season.
Join us every Saturday on 90.7 FM and on WFUV Sports YouTube page for live radio broadcasts of every Fordham football game as the Rams continue their quest to their first Patriot League title since 2014.
With a new look offense and veteran leaders on defense, you won't want to miss this. Fordham football, every weekend on WFUV Sports.
We're back. We're so back. Unfortunately, we have to talk about the New York Liberty getting eliminated last night. They lost to the Phoenix Mercury. 79-73 was your final. They're out of the WNBA playoffs, even with some great performances from Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu. Could not get it done last night. Pretty devastating considering that they were defending their title, but guys, I'm going to throw it to you because you are both Liberty. Here we go. We have our caller on the line. We have Darrell Johnson, writer for the New York Amsterdam News, among others, covering the Liberty. Darrell, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Well, we just mentioned it. Obviously, Liberty are out of the playoffs, but what do you think went wrong for this Liberty team? Could not defend their title from last year. Do you think it was more like injuries this season, something like team dynamic wise? What was the kicker this year?
Ultimately, injuries define the season for the Liberty because they started the season 9-0, and they looked like they were going to. Obviously, Minnesota started the season great as well, but it looked like the two teams were on a collision course for a rematch of last year's finals, and then injuries happened. Jonquel Jones got hurt first, and then she missed 13 games. Then Breanna Stewart got hurt. She missed 13 games. And then Sabrina got hurt. And she missed some games to end the season. So ultimately, I think that will define the Liberty season. And they did put up a great effort in a decisive game yesterday. I still cannot understand what happened Wednesday night at Barclays Center. To have the ability to close out the series at home and put up the effort that they did is inexcusable, unexplainable.
I was at that game for the Liberty, reporting on it for WFUV, and just watching that performance was, I think, the most disappointing thing that the fans at Barclays Center could have had. But I think another disappointing thing, I know, Darrell, you mentioned it, Jonquel Jones in this playoff series. What did you see? What did you think went wrong? Because I saw the defense for the Mercury kind of just beating up on her the whole time and just not able to get out of her shell.
She obviously was horrible last night. I believe she was 1 of 10.
And just kept shooting it too.
And yes, but that was what happened with Sabrina at the game on Wednesday. So there has to be something in your head that says, you know what, the shot isn't going down. Let me move the ball when I get it, as opposed to thinking the next one will go in. In a way, I guess as a scorer, you need to have the ability in your head that the next one will go in, no matter how poorly you're performing. But you also have to be a team player and give the ball up. She did not do that obviously enough last night. Sabrina did not do it enough on Wednesday.
To kind of follow up with that one, what do you think happened with Sabrina this second half of the season? It looks like she started off pretty strong, and then you saw this kind of collapse in her abilities and her strength throughout the rest of the season. What do you think happened there?
Well, the injury obviously played a big part in that. And ultimately, I think injuries will define this season for the Liberty. When they signed Mieserman, I thought, you know what, this team is poised to make a strong defense of the title. But Sandy did not have the ability to have all of her players on the court to be able to, I guess, form a cohesive unit. And I think that was poor performances aside on Wednesday by Sabrina and yesterday by John Quell. I think that ultimately will decide the season. I just remember sitting there, and Kurt, you were there. I just remember sitting there at the post-game press conference and Sabrina saying, the fans deserve better than this, and we have to win this game so that the fans get another game at Barclays Center. She obviously had a much better game yesterday, but for that effort was inexcusable at a closeout game on your home court on Wednesday. And ultimately, that's what decided the series, not the loss yesterday, in my humble opinion.
And then going back to one more thing with Emma Mieserman, the Mercury in the third game shut her down completely, and she was helping carry the Liberty throughout the second half of the season when she signed with them. What did you see from the Phoenix Mercury that shut down Emma Mieserman in this deciding series, and why wasn't she in the starting lineup?
Well, I think it was more effective to bring her off the bench. I think if you started John Quell, Stewie, and Emma, that makes you a defensive liability because now you have three. Really, Stewie is obviously a great player, but then you have a big that has to guard one of the wings for the other team, which would give that team an advantage on defense. So I didn't really have a problem with her coming off of the bench. She, as you pointed out, she didn't have a great series. I expected her to perform better, but again, I have to go back to game two. I mean, they won a thrilling overtime game in game one. Obviously, when it went to overtime, that game could have gone either way. The Phoenix team that came into Barclays Center came in there knowing they were the better team. Disappointed in themselves that they lost home court advantage in game one. And destroyed the Liberty in game 2 on the road. Inexcusable for there to be a 20-2 advantage in fast break points. Inexcusable for the Liberty to knock down 10 shots in the first quarter and only 9 in the rest of the game. So, yes, last night is where the series was lost, but in my humble opinion, it was really lost on Wednesday when they had a chance to close it out at home.
Yeah, and now that their season is over, what do you think we should expect from them this offseason?
That is a great question. Obviously, I mean, ideally, I think most Liberty fans would say, hey, let's run it back. Injuries got the best of us this year, particularly the last 75% of the season. And I do believe if the Liberty were healthy, I don't think they would have won the title, but I think they would have had a great chance of getting back to the WNBA finals to face the Lynx. And injuries derailed the season for them. So I would love to see them run it back with Emma, the big three, and the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm. All right, and one final question for you, Jarrell. Kind of turning it over to the rest of the playoffs. How do you think things are going to shake out? We're into the semifinals now. Our main question here, is this run by the Indiana Fever sustainable? Do you see them going to the distance? What do you think?
No. But obviously, thrilling games Thursday. I was glued to my TV. I have to say, I don't think I've ever not watched NFL football and been as locked into WNBA playoffs as I was Thursday night. But they were two great games. Indiana defeating Atlanta, and then the Seattle Storm giving the Las Vegas Aces all they can handle and more in that game. I think ultimately we will see Minnesota and Las Vegas in the WNBA finals. So I will say no. I don't think the run by the Indiana Fever is sustainable. But look out for that team next year. Because if they can make the right postseason moves and Caitlin can come back healthy, well, that's going to be a very dangerous team in 2026.
Alrighty, Darrell Johnson for the New York Amsterdam News, among others. Thank you so much for joining us here following the Liberty's elimination last night. Kurt, wanted to turn it over to you first because you've seen a lot of this team this year. I think the question everyone's wondering is what happened.
Well, game 2, and I know Kate can probably talk about this too. You cannot miss. I think they had 15 fouls, and they made one shot they made one shot in the second quarter, the entire time. Like it felt like it was forever since they scored. And in game 3, you have no supporting cast. You had Brianna Stewart with 30 points, Sabrina Ionescu with 22 points, and then no one else scored over 10. Natasha Cloud has 7. And she was the person you brought in to not only be your floor general, but with DC, she was able to score and make baskets to help them win games. Leonie Fibic, someone who has been stellar from the three-point line all season, had 3 points last night. JJ was awful all series. All series, JJ was horrendous.
Wednesday was her best game.
And it was 7 points. And she had all of those points when? The first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, it's hard because you see them kind of with these 3 games kind of all over the place. Wednesday's game was their most like unifying game, I would say, where they were all contributing. However, the people that are supposed to contribute the most were unable to do so. And so it felt like it was a bunch of people putting up like a little bit, and that's not going to do it.
And Brianna Stewart had her best game last night in an elimination game. Shows why she is one of the best players in the entire WNBA. She took over. They just ran out of steam.
But 6 points on Wednesday.
I know.
But
the issue is I'm not going to put it all on her. I know that she is the all-star, her and Sabrina Ionescu, who I don't think there should be any excuses for her either.
Nope.
It felt like the Liberty were playing hero ball.
Yeah.
Sabrina, take the ball and shoot it. I think Bobby, even in the back, he was watching the game too with me it was on Saturday. No, it was on Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday. Sorry, I'm all over the place this week. The Wednesday night game, it felt like Sabrina just kept shooting it.
Yeah.
And again, I would give my best 3-point shooter the ball every time. But when you're not hitting the shots, you got to pass the ball. Like we heard Darrell say in the beginning of the Liberty were awful from the line. Last night, they shot 33% from the field and 21% from 3. It felt like there was a lid on the rim. They felt like there was somebody with like one of the container lids just put it right over the rim, and the Liberty did not see it the entire game and could not take it off. That's how it felt. It was so awful. And this team is built with such great talent. You look up and down the roster, and we've talked about this on countless one-on-ones, where you talk about how good this roster is and how good it was constructed, and you put these players all together, and it did absolutely nothing because there was no continuity at all throughout the year because everyone was injured, and you could not have people who are injured, who have not played. Emma Miesemann practiced with them after her 3rd game. She had to practice with the Liberty.
Yeah. They threw her in right away.
She was just there.
And she honestly played exceptionally well
and
this
I saw
season
her
for the fact that she was thrown into a team where it kind of came out of nowhere and pieces were falling apart. This entire season, it felt like you would gain a piece back and then something else would fall apart. And the team dynamic the entire season was just off. It was a mess. It was a mess. There would be some games where they'd play so good and you'd be like, oh my gosh, they're going to repeat. And then you'd watch the next game and you were like, what is going on? It was all over the place. There was zero consistency from the Liberty this season, and that was going to be their downfall. I honestly thought they would make it into the semifinals and they'd make it past this first round. But considering how inconsistent they were all season, it makes sense that they're done.
The last All In I did, the All-Woman Sport podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Sports, make sure you check it out. But the last production I did of All In, and we were talking about the ending of the WNBA season.
Yes.
And we were talking about, I believe you were on that, Kate.
It was.
Yes.
It was me, you, and Gabby.
Yes.
What a squad.
Talking about that, and I think everyone said that we didn't think the Liberty were going to get out of the first round. There was no vision where, like, one, I know Sandy is hard on them in the locker room because she doesn't want to be hard on them she has a very Aaron Boone situation, Sandy. She's not very hard on her players in the press conference.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that a lot of the reporters, the press conference room was packed on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, when are you going to be worried? Because you just saw the Liberty get blown away.
Yeah.
Blown away by Sabali. You saw them get blown. DeWanna Bonner, blew you away last game. Literally, it felt like the most demoralizing loss in Barclays Center. And I've witnessed that place be so loud. And I was so excited to hear what it would be like in a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because the entire regular season's a playoff atmosphere.
Right.
And then you get to the actual playoffs, and the crowd is dead.
Silent. Yeah.
Because
that's not good.
They didn't give them anything to cheer about.
Yeah.
The second quarter was awful. It looked like they gave up.
And the Mercury were up by 14 at the half. I didn't get to start watching the game until after halftime because I had a meeting before that. But I remember just putting the game on and being like, what is going on? After watching game 1, I was like, okay, this is looking okay. This is something we could work with. And then game 2 just completely fell apart. The starting group only had 32 points.
Yes, they all were in single digits, and
Of-
the
of
entire
That's not gonna
32
work.
of their 60 points on Wednesday's game were from their starting group. Like, that should not be happening.
they also
ever.
had their entire squad was in the minus.
Yeah.
Everyone was like minus 20.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. If we look at the regular season series against the Mercury, the Liberty got swept this season, 4 games.
Yep.
Yeah. Grace, the Liberty
Yikes.
have been
Struggling.
They've been struggling this year. Yeah.
Wait, I want to bring up Alyssa Thomas last night, actually, because I think that's probably not probably. It's a big part of why the Mercury won last night. First of all, here's a fun fact that I just learned from this Yahoo Sports article. She owns more than 40% of triple doubles in WNBA history.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And she has 5 of 7 in playoffs right now.
I was going to say 5th career playoff triple double last night, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. That's crazy.
Yeah.
first postseason triple double in the
That's awesome.
semifinals. Not semifinals, the opening round.
That's
first
awesome.
round. Yeah.
So shout out Alyssa Thomas.
Learned that from ESPN stats.
That's
Yeah.
an interesting
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
There you go.
but look at this. This Mercury team has been built with a big 3 in mind.
Yes.
A very similar big 3 that the Liberty have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mercury were able to put it together.
Yeah.
And that comes with DeWanna Bonner getting out of Indiana earlier this year. It came with just everyone coming together at the end. Even Satu was awesome the entire year, as well as the most important person on this entire squad, I argue.
And she played so well.
And Kalia Copper
last night. Kalia Copper, that is another one where she's not the big name you're thinking about when you talk about the Mercury, but she has been really great this season. She played great last night on rebounds especially. And I mean, it's just another level of it all came together for them last night.
That's the other thing that the Liberty did better than the Mercury did in the first game, was out-rebound them by a lot.
Yep.
And the issue is, if you're not going to keep up, this has been the issue with the Liberty all season. You play a really good first half of basketball, and then you fall off the entire rest of the way because their foot goes off the gas. That happens all of the time with the Liberty. And that's what happened in Game 2, it felt like. That you got demoralized, you couldn't hit shots, and then you just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Bobby, when he was talking about it to me in the game, he said, it looks like they gave up. It really did look like they gave up.
Yes.
They just were chucking threes. And, again, it's just so hard who to blame this on. Because is it Sandy's coaching? She should have made more moves. Is it Jonquel Jones, the finals MVP last year, mind you? Could she have been better? Maybe reading the coverage a little better? Could it have Sabrina Ionescu, who's your all-star, who could have been better? I don't know. Brianna Stewart was injured, so I'm not going to put it on Brianna Stewart.
Yeah, and we're looking at the big 3, and all 3 of them had
And we just
generally serious injuries this season, and started to have had games where they've just fallen apart. And Brianna Stewart, in this postseason, she has been great, but there were some games towards the end of the season where it was also a mess, where she put up nothing. And it was from all 3 of them since those injuries, we've seen that happen, of just complete inconsistency. And when you need them to step up,
never happens.
It doesn't happen.
All right, let's look at the rest of the playoff picture here. We have the semifinals set. Game 1, Fever versus Aces in Las Vegas tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then Mercury Lynx. I'm excited about that because the Lynx, I mean, we haven't talked about them yet. Lynx are a very good basketball team, and
So
we saw what the Mercury just did to the defending champions.
Yes.
That first game in Minnesota tomorrow is at 5. But before we get into that, I have another question about a different WNBA team because you two are experts, and I am seeing that. I just want to ask about the Golden State Valkyries in their first year.
Awesome.
Their first year as a
Stunning.
franchise, making the playoffs. I don't feel like. I mean, I'm thinking like of recent franchises to come into the major sports. Don't feel like that happens very often. Where
No.
you make it the first
Golden
year.
Knights?
No.
Yeah, except for them.
But
We don't have to talk about.
They
the
won a
Golden
title,
Knights.
right?
They have won before, yeah.
No,
Well,
I
they've
know
won-
they've won multiple, but
Not in their first
Not their
season.
first
I think it
season?
was. Well, let me check on that.
I'm not
before.
sure.
But I was just gonna say, like, how did they pull that? I feel like that's totally unusual. How did they pull that off?
It is so unusual, and it's their coach. I mean, she won Coach of the Year for a reason. She's Natalie Nakase, I think is how you would say it. And she's phenomenal. And all season you saw her with her team, and you were like, wow. Like, every game I saw them play, she is just so involved to another level of, she keeps her composure, but she's very, like, she's in it. And she has been phenomenal this year. And to see a team do so well that they made it, only 8 teams make it to the playoffs, and they made it as that 8th spot. And, I mean, incredible.
The Valkyries also, like, if you look at their squad, they piecemealed their players together. Like, an example, Kayla Thornton, someone that was not the main person for the Liberty last year, but definitely was someone that came off the bench, and she plays a very big role for the Golden State Valkyrie. If you look at how the squad was assembled, it was assembled through people that are the 5th and 6th members of the bench that are able to set themselves up as good opening scorers for the team, play great defense. And also, what's really cool is the Valkyrie have sold out their arena every single game. They've sold out season tickets for the next 5 years or something like that. People
love them.
Really awesome.
People love them.
People go to these games, and they're the best story coming out of the W this entire season.
Absolutely.
And that is the cool part is we have 6 new teams coming to the WNBA this season, next few
Within
seasons.
the next few years,
you have the Portland Fire. You have the team in Detroit, team in Cleveland. Got to think of the other ones. Now I'm going to forget. But where?
Toronto. Right?
Yeah, Toronto is getting their team as well.
Yes. That's fun.
That's fun. I love
You're
the
gonna
little
get-
Canadian
we
edition.
involve Toronto.
So now the teams are all the talent pool of the WNBA is going to start thinning out.
Yes.
But what's good about that is a lot of other women are going to be able to come to the WNBA that might have to be overseas right now, might not be good enough to come out of college to the W instantly, because to be fair, a lot of the people that play in the W are older. They don't retire as often.
Yes.
So now
because it
becomes,
is a shorter season. It's
yes,
less on their bodies.
You can have more members of teams get there. And the Golden State Valkyrie have built the archetype of how to build an opening year that is so successful and sell at your arena.
And I don't believe that any of those teams
atmosphere.
are going to be able to do it in the same way.
I think I think Toronto will show. No, they won't be
Maybe.
competitive.
Not competitive in the same way that the Valkyries have been this year. Obviously, this postseason they got put in just to a bad situation. The Lynx are on another level. They were never going to be able to compete with the Lynx. So I'm not looking at this postseason with anything, honestly, because I love this Valkyries team. And honestly, as you mentioned, like that 5th and 6th person, this team is truly built off of the bench. And they've made it work so well, and it has been so good for them. And they are an anomaly because you don't see that very often, especially from when you don't have a star. Like, they don't have a star.
Right. I was just going to say.
There's no star.
Well, now that they have...
Now they have the opportunity
you have
for
ammo.
that. Yeah, I mean, they have the opportunity to do some big stuff in the offseason because now they've built up that reputation of the first year and making that happen so quickly. You don't see that ever, really, or very often.
And that's just we've talked about this on the show 1,000 times, but it's a good indication for where the WNBA is going.
Yes.
Because now summer basketball, it's going to be there for the next however many years for us, and it's just going to keep growing.
Yep.
Every time I've been to the Liberty games 2 years ago at Barclays Center when there was 1,000 fans in the stand. It's a different atmosphere. Now that there's 17,000 fans in the building every single night, it's awesome to get to go and watch them compete every night, but also get to watch the fandom of Liberty fans. There are people giving out the face masks from that to match Natasha Cloud this season. Everyone's wearing their T-shirts that they get custom made, not even buying merch, like getting custom made T-shirts to show off their fandom. People show out to these games and really love the Liberty and love their teams that they're watching. And even I saw Valkyries fans in New York.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
They've already started traveling so well, and I don't understand how that
I don't
happens
get it
with
either.
a brand new team. How I truly don't understand how they've done it. But Golden State also has like an incredible fan base in general surrounding basketball. And that, on the other end of that, that's such a good thing that the W has done of putting the season kind of opposite to the NBA, because as a basketball fan, people have a whole year to think about basketball.
Yeah.
And that's great. I mean, I love that personally, but I also think that's a great way for you to get more viewership, because if there were for example, you have a lot of fans at those W games, and some of those people, if it were the NBA season as well, they might not be at those games. So that alternate season is the best thing for the growth of the WNBA.
I think the one thing that might be a little bit of an issue, and we could talk about this a little bit, the CBA might not be getting signed. It expires in October.
Right.
That's bad.
And it seems like they're at a very big impasse with the CBA. I know there hasn't been as much news on it recently, but you see it as a potential lockout situation for next season, which I really hope doesn't happen, because now they're on like a crash course for like even more viewership, even more fun. Like it's going up to such a peak right now because new teams are coming in, new fan bases are starting to develop. People are watching the games. They brought in a whole new TV rights deal last season. A lockout it feels like it would fizzle a lot of things out.
Yeah.
They cannot have a lockout next season.
I really hope that does not happen, because also I think we'll see more of it when finals come around, because they're going to use that huge opportunity as
ammunition.
Ammunition to, T-shirts, fans, everything.
The fans are out with the signs.
The fans have been there, but I think with the finals it'll be even bigger, and that really pushes that. And they do need to change that deal and make it
more
better
fair.
More fair for the players. And Gotham, I'm a fan of Gotham FC, and I've covered some of their games, and they've started wearing T-shirts. Pay them what they owe.
Guess who's writing about that for the Fordham Ram this week? It's Kurt Sippel.
Oh my gosh!
Read all about it.
Read all about it. Wednesday's
That's another
great
example of the support around it and why it's so necessary.
All right,
really.
we gotta head to break in a couple of seconds, but I just want to rapid fire. Who do you think is gonna win the title?
Lynx.
Go. The Lynx.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Lynx too.
And I'm not mad about it.
I hate the Lynx.
I think there's a lot of people that hate the Lynx, and I truly am not one of those people, because
I am.
I just love basketball, and they play great basketball.
I'm not a big Aces fan either, but I think I would rather watch Asia Wilson.
Well, Asia Wilson is like my favorite basketball player ever.
She's so awesome.
I would love for the Aces to win. Love the Aces to win, but I do think that the Lynx will pull that out. I think it'll be the Lynx and the Aces.
Lynx
in the finals, in the championship.
Lynx in 5.
Yes.
Lynx in 5.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta head to break, but when we come back, I should say, we're gonna turn it over to the gridiron. It's time to talk about the New York Giants. We'll talk about what's gonna happen tomorrow night at MetLife Stadium. We'll see you after the break.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Joe Henry, your 2025 New York Jets beat reporters.
Follow along with us every Sunday as we cover and analyze all things JETS.
With a new quarterback at the helm, can Aaron Glenn right the ship and cause chaos in the AFC East?
Stay updated every week with game updates and recaps from @Brendan_Shorey
and @JoeHenry_4 on X.
WFUV, your home for Jets football.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe Henry, one of your New York Mets beat reporters for the 2025 MLB season. From Soto's slugging to Senga's strikeouts, I'll have you covered from Citi Field all year long. Follow me on X at JoeHenry_4 for exclusive interviews, game day insights, and live coverage of every play. So take a ride on the 7 train with me as the Mets continue their quest for World Series glory. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
We're back. We're turning it over to New Jersey. We're taking a trip on how do I phrase this, from the Barclays Center to MetLife Stadium.
You'd have to take
NJ Transit. I'll let you.
You've got to take like Barclays
I
Center.
think we just drive.
You could drive. You could take from Barclays Center.
Probably so much easier just to drive.
You could take you could take to the PATH train, or you could take a bus.
The PATH train is honestly great.
You have to go to Penn
State. I don't think I've ever taken the PATH.
I despise the PATH train.
I'm sure the PATH is better than NJ Transit.
I've only taken the PATH like twice, but it was really easy.
No, I mean better than like. Well, the PATH, but the PATH you can also get like you can get the PATH. Literally, there's a PATH station like by my house, and that's like that's already 10 points in their favor.
You ever
that I don't have to go to Penn.
You ever use the PATH like Metro card system?
No, because I've never taken the PATH.
It like goes back and it goes like back and forth, and then you get it on the other side. It's kind of weird.
That's
Wait,
weird.
What?
I don't.
Yeah.
You've
never seen that? It's like a whole. It's a whole different system to what New York City has. For
I
just
tapped
in
with
the
PATH
like Apple Pay.
I don't think you can take it all the way to MetLife.
I don't think to MetLife.
It might be NJ Transit. I've never taken the train to MetLife.
I've only taken the PATH twice, and it was to see the Gotham games.
Yeah.
So
anyway, we're getting We're getting to New Jersey. We're figuring it out as we go. We're probably taking Kurt's car. We're hopping in the Hyundai.
I don't want to.
Someone's
gonna
drive.
Go to New Jersey unless it's to go watch a Giants game. So I get it.
But we have to watch the Giants. We have to watch the Giants on Sunday Night Football tomorrow. And usually when I hear Giants on prime time, I get this very scared feeling in my stomach. I'm like, oh God, it's basically the rapture. I'm like, wow, this could be bad. And they are indeed playing the defending AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs.
But it might not be bad.
But you know what? We're gonna be positive today because I am drinking the Kool-Aid from last Sunday's game against the Cowboys that they almost won. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid is pouring. It's flowing. I'm drinking it. That was a good game by the New York Giants, except for the interception and except for a couple of other moments that were bad. Russ looked awesome.
Russ looked stellar last week.
Yeah.
As well, I think that the Chiefs' defense of blitz heavy on the Giants will work out maybe less in the Chiefs' favor and more in the Giants' favor.
Interesting.
I say that because Russ, while yes, a pocket passer, and the Giants' O-line is awful, I still feel like he's able to get the ball off fast enough to get it to one of the wide receivers that will be open in the outfield, in the deep. I'm all over the place. Whatever.
It's so fine.
But further downfield, I believe that they'll be able to get them open to maybe get a pass to Wandale, maybe get a pass to Malik that will gain more yards. Because we saw last week that he was a competent player.
And
again.
he was throwing pretty far.
He had some great
that
pass,
some
guys.
Really good passes.
That Wandale touchdown. My roommates thought I was having an episode. Like, I was freaking out. I was like gonna call my mom and be like, in tears, like, oh my God, they might win this game. But here's one thing I will say about the Lydia Perner's on the.
I'm getting told by Lydia Perner to talk about Daniel Jones, who I love Daniel Jones.
Okay, so this is a Giants segment, Lydia, and he's not on the Giants.
She said they would have won if Daniel Jones was the quarterback.
That's not true.
The issue why they wouldn't have won if Daniel Jones was the quarterback is because the Giants' O-line is still awful.
Russell Wilson had a better game than Daniel Jones last week.
But Daniel Jones is still 2-0.
Yeah, I was going to say the Colts are 2-0.
Guys, listen, okay? Brandon Aubrey is a cheat code. Here's what I think. I was talking about this with my dad the other day. We should bring back bad kickers because all of the kickers in the NFL these days are hitting 65-yarders.
You're
and I'm
so
bored.
right.
I'm bored.
Right.
I want people to start missing kicks. One day we're gonna have 80-yard field goals. I'm not okay with that.
That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
I'm
It might
so
happen
excited to
in 2
see
years.
that happen.
I don't want this because then
we
it's
get
too
full
easy.
field kicks.
It's too easy. I don't want it.
That's why it's only worth 3 instead of 6.
Well, yes, of course. But like I want like a 65
combats the
a 65-yarder these days doesn't even scare people. They're like, "Oh, Brandon Aubrey's got it." Graham Gano probably could make a 65-yarder. I don't know that for sure because he didn't have to make one on Sunday, but Brandon Aubrey had a great game. I also know that because I was playing against him in fantasy, so that was kind of brutal. But you know what, Chris Boswell, he's my fantasy kicker.
Yeah,
he's also pretty good.
How is your fantasy going?
I'm 1-1.
I'm playing Grace this week.
Right?
It's not bad. I'm totally winning. I think I already got a few points from Thursday
but
of Devon
Sunday hasn't happened yet, and Sunday you're gonna get blown out, so it doesn't make a difference.
All right.
It's not true.
All right.
That's what they're saying.
It's really mean, actually.
That is what they're saying, Grace.
Anyway,
Sorry, we're enemies this week, so it doesn't make a difference.
Here's what I'll say about this Sunday night game. The Chiefs are desperate. The Chiefs do not want to start the season 0-3.
They're marching into MetLife Stadium, though. Pretty packed crowd, I feel. You don't think it's going to be a good crowd?
I think it'll be a good crowd. I don't know if that's going to bother the Chiefs, though.
It might. You never know. I mean, if there's a Giants fan base that believes they might have a chance to win.
They do have a chance to win.
Well, I'm saying the Giants have any belief that they'll have a chance even to do anything.
Yeah.
The fan base will be great. So you might have a really good fan base behind the Giants. And if their defense can put it together and not have 14 penalties.
That's kind of my concern.
Well, I think
I was going to say the defense is going to have to push back because the Chiefs have had a struggle with their running game, so I'm assuming they're going to try for more passing, and that is the opportunity for them to for the Giants defense to completely shut them down.
As well as the Giants pass rush is pretty great.
Yes, it is.
So that's the other thing that they have to figure out a way to shut down Patrick Mahomes, which is not easy.
Exactly.
Not easy.
But you got to shut down their run game if that's what you're going to do. If you're not going to shut down Patrick Mahomes throwing, got to shut down the run game and not let them run
I was
going to
say, like, the Chiefs in their first 2 games have struggled to – I mean, Mahomes is their leading rusher this season. Like, that's not – like –
That's what I'm saying is if
you
can
can't
continue
have that. That's
pushing
not
with
sustainable.
They're already struggling with the rushing. If you can also shut down the passing, that should set them up for a win.
Here's what I'll say. I feel like we've been talking about the Giants' schedule literally since it came out in May. I know I've been thinking about it since May. I've been feeling quite bad about it since May. But, all right, obviously tomorrow, we think they can win. I don't know if that's going to happen.
And then you beat the Chargers.
Maybe.
Everyone's saying no. I think like the Chargers are a more winnable game than people think. I feel like the Chiefs might be a little.
Just chugging the Kool-Aid.
I am, but
it's really
but you
bad.
don't think that the Chargers are a more winnable game than the Chiefs, maybe?
I don't know,
but the Chiefs are in a situation right now where they're so vulnerable. This is the time to strike.
That's the
Strike
problem.
while the
I
iron's
feel
hot.
like they might pull it together tomorrow and score like 45 against the Giants.
They totally might.
That
but
could
also,
happen.
it is the kind of situation where you're like, they didn't start off strong. They started off not doing well. If you're gonna play well against them at any point in the season, it's now.
Russ is also very good against Mahomes.
That's true.
That is
Yeah,
that is a
true.
very good
Thank
fact,
you, Griffin.
Griffin.
That's
But
a great fun fact.
Also, Andrew Thomas might be back on the line next to Russ. So that might also be bolstering the O-line just a little bit more, as much as it really doesn't make a difference because the Giants' O-line, I think, allows pressure in 3 seconds. I believe that's the stat. It's 3.2 seconds.
Oh, good.
The Giants' O-line allows. But if you can put together the defense and have that offense even look an ounce as good as it did against the Cowboys, who I think their defense is better than the Chiefs. I don't think that's that crazy to say.
Can I drop the Russell Wilson against Mahomes?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. So Russell Wilson, honestly, his win rate against him isn't that good. I don't think he won when he was on the Broncos, but he definitely beat them with the Seahawks. However, in his last 4 games, he's thrown for 918 passing yards. He's had 9 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last time he played him was with the Broncos in week 14, and they lost that game. But he threw for 3 touchdown passes and had a passer rating over 100.
That's good.
He is good
That
against
is good.
Mahomes. Weirdly.
That is kind of a weird.
I'm a
Well, and
little
also
nervous.
that Broncos I don't even I
Weird
I
team.
pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That was a weird time in football. It was very confusing.
That was a blip in his life.
It was
It was.
Broncos
In his
country, let's
career, that
ride.
was
That whole
just-
era, I'm
a little
confused
weird.
by it.
How do you feel about the Giants' run game this season? That's how I feel about the Giants' run game this season. I don't know how I feel about Cam Scatterbo.
I was gonna
as a
say
player.
that's a great
okay.
example of
He
what
looks
is
like a
going on.
bull in a china shop when he starts running.
Okay, here's my thing about
I
Cam
kinda like
Scatterbo.
him.
I kind of like him aesthetically. It's gonna sound bad, but I think he's great, vibes wise. He's almost like Jameis to me. He is great vibes wise.
No, but like he's really good.
He's gonna
good.
be very good, and he had obviously Jameis is probably not going to see much playing time this year. Hopefully, I don't want to start this propaganda with
also,
you.
side
it's
note,
not propaganda.
But with the aesthetic thing,
yeah,
he also looks like a completely different person when he's not smiling versus when he is.
Yeah, I'm like terrified.
Like when he's
bit.
not smiling, scary. When he smiles, I'm like, oh, that's like a teddy bear.
Yeah, exactly.
He has like the cutest little smile. He gives like nice little guy, but he's also so good.
He's so good.
So already.
But I'm not feeling fabulous about the run game.
I think that's my biggest problem with the Giants this
mine's
season.
the O-line.
Well,
we
the O-line's
can't even start about
but
the
O-line's always the issue. But I'm saying
that's what I'm saying. It's been actually when I tell
since
you
Eli Manning was on the
literally
Giants.
since Eli. Now Eli retired in 2020. It's been well before that.
Yeah.
I would say even going back to the last, like right after the last Super Bowl. The O-line's
they have not been able to build an O-line.
They have not been able to fix it at all. Like not even to make it like permissible. It's just been an issue, and I think that is a big chunk of why Daniel Jones could not succeed here.
I mean, look at him with a decent O-line with the Colts. He's won 2 games and he's had great games.
Yeah. So that's also my concern with whenever they decide to play Dart, which I think I read yesterday that if they lose tomorrow, they're going to start thinking about putting
I don't
him
like
in.
that at all.
I don't know how I feel about that because
He
I
didn't
worry
look that
about the
great.
O-line. I don't want him to get banged up.
Well, that's
and
going to happen.
And he's
Also,
probably
it's
not
also
gonna look
this
that
is
great.
the opportunity for him to learn to be the guy next year or the year after.
It's going to be
like right now is I don't know if he's ready for that. He looked pretty good in the preseason games, but
he looked fine.
But I don't know if it was good enough.
They put him in
you know
against the
what I mean?
Cowboys, I guess.
Yeah, that was like one. That was like one drive.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, the rest of their schedule.
Oh, Xavier Worthy is out tomorrow.
That's
Chiefs.
actually big.
That's actually a really big. That's a big loss for the Chiefs. It just came out 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, they do have, and they also have some injuries on the O-line. That gives another opportunity for the defense to kind of shut them down, especially with rushing.
If you could sack Mahomes tomorrow,
if you can
really
sack him a few times, he
bit,
gets rattled by sacks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't know the exact statistic on that, but that is something for sure that would be good for them. But like going back to the running back thing, as you know, a fan, what are your thoughts on the Tyrone Tracy situation? Because they haven't really put him out at all.
Okay, so they're
putting out this rookie guy. So
I have been a Tyrone Tracy supporter. Obviously, last season after Saquon went to the Eagles, I was in loads of pain. I was really not doing great there for a while, and then Tyrone Tracy made me feel a little bit better. Obviously, he's not anywhere near Saquon Barkley. Nobody is. I would never try to claim that, but I did like what I saw from Tyrone Tracy last year. I wouldn't mind if he got some more looks, but I also understand their desire to develop Scatterbo.
He's also going to be the returner for majority of the time.
Right, exactly.
So.
Yes. He's mostly their punt returner now, which is fine.
And he's doing fine at it. I think I'm fine with how it is right now.
Me
I like
too.
Cam Scatterbo
It might need a little time to like look
develop,
good, but because Scatterbo.
Yeah, because even with the difference between even the game versus Washington and then Dallas, he was put out like half the amount. I think the second game. So I wonder if they're gonna throw him out even a little bit on Sunday. Yeah. I mean,
I think you throw him out a little. Like,
I would say
you
want that.
Right,
you want that veteran ability. I think with a team like the Chiefs.
I think I agree with you there.
But
I don't think that's a.
But also, Scatterbo has also been doing really well. So I say you put him out first and see how he does. And if it doesn't go well, then you kind of go back to Tracy.
I say throw the ball up to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I agree with
just their main thing should be just find Neighbors, and he can make it happen.
Robinson was great
Russ
last game.
Wandale was fabulous. That made me very happy.
Yes.
Neighbors has been great.
Well, he's QB1. Wide receiver 1.
Of course. But I really just think like Russ can obviously throw the deep ball. Just find Neighbors and it'll
Flick
happen.
the moon ball every time.
Just find him. See the number 1 on the blue jersey and throw there.
I mean, that's what he said when he came in. He just said, "Throw the ball up and I'll catch it."
Literally.
And he did have a drop the other day that.
Okay. Yes.
I didn't love that.
Okay,
I thought
well,
that I was
that
very
a tough,
upset.
That
I
was
thought
kind
that
of a tough one.
I thought
Not that it was a bad pass.
I
It was
thought
just
it
a tough
was-
situation.
I thought it was over when he dropped that ball.
So
and
did
then
I
Russ-
went through all the emotions during this game.
I was listening to it on the radio in Philadelphia, and awful. And I'm sitting in the car, and I'm just like hands on my head,
yeah.
just like I don't
was,
know
like,
what to
curled
say right
up
there.
on my floor, like, but going between like elation and absolute like depression. It was ridiculous. You would have thought it was a playoff game, and it's week 2.
Well,
But
those
that's
are
what the
playoff games
Cowboys
for the
make us
Giants,
Because I
feel.
was gonna say that's a matchup that always feels like
it feels really serious.
Yeah.
Like it feels really serious.
I think the Giants, while I did say in the beginning of the year that I felt like they could have been a playoff team, I still feel like you had to have beaten the Cowboys to have any kind of semblance of anything. Because if you beat the Cowboys, then you beat the Chiefs, you're 2-2.
yeah.
Then you go into the Chargers with a little bit more momentum. And then you play the Saints, who you should beat.
That is the game on this
Yeah.
schedule. Okay.
They-
let's
yeah.
go through before we wrap up this segment.
I love going
Let's
through
do
the
it.
schedule.
Let's go through the schedule. All right, we got Chiefs tomorrow at MetLife, and then Chargers next Sunday at MetLife, 1:00, and then they go to New Orleans. Then they are at home against the Eagles. That's Thursday Night Football. Again, God, why is that on prime time? Like, I'm really scared
I'm
for that.
surprised
That
they
I'm
have so many
legitimately
primetime-
terrified.
I'm
They-
surprised they have so
why
many
why
primetime
3?
games. Well, they are the New York Giants, and it makes sense. I know they haven't been that for
I
a
know.
majority of our
Yeah,
last
since
how
I've
many- how
been
many
like
years?
5.
Yeah.
But also, when you're
Since the
playing
Super
the
Bowl?
defending champion,
Super Bowl, I
like the
remember.
Eagles game, it
Yeah.
makes sense. Like I don't
Yes.
even know if
I
it's
don't know
the
how much
it makes
Giants.
sense.
It's the.
I think it's
I think it's the Giants.
No,
After
I
that
think-
game
But
that
I
they
also
played
think
against,
it's just the situation.
I
of
think it's the
who
situation
they're playing.
of that they
like Giants
hate
Patriots.
each
That
other.
makes sense.
Giants Patriots will
That's-
always be famous. for
Exactly.
all
Like
the
that's
right
another
reasons.
situation of.
Yeah. Sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry. I will always bring that up.
it is awesome.
And you know what? That's okay because I'm sitting with a
You-
lot of
you-
rings.
You will never
so.
take that away from me.
But like those
I think-
situations, like those are all the
Yeah.
matchups that are primetime. Make sense that they're primetime, not just because of the other team, also, but because of like the situations. Like the Eagles games that's gonna be a
Yes.
good primetime game, and then with the Patriots, that's
Right.
an incredible matchup.
I
That's gonna be
also
fun to
think
watch.
a lot of it is because this is a long time rivalry. Like the Eagles and Giants hate each other. Like,
Yeah.
and it's been that
Well,
way.
now that
Yeah,
Saquon's
totally.
there too. It's
Right.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. Oh my God.
I wonder
he's-
if they'll make the
God, he's gonna have
the
like
last
5 touchdowns.
game, the Cowboys Giants game. I wonder if they'll make that primetime too.
Oh my God.
'Cause that's-
guys,
they- I don't
know,
think they-
please.
Like determined the
fle-
time for that
uh,
yet. So
they'll
wonder
flex
what
that
they'll do
Griffin
there.
in one of the Seahawks slots that you were talking about earlier.
Sorry, Griffin's getting the producer.
Best
mic.
defense in the league. Highest pressure rate. For lowest amount of blitzes. Josh Jobe is elite. We're elite. Youngest defense. Seahawks. Winning a playoff game this year.
cherry picking.
I mean,
I was
stats.
gonna
This
say
is
if we're
also
plugging,
just
if we're like
giant
plugging
segment.
our teams right now,
Just
like
Drake
cherry
May's
picking
on the
stats.
way up. So
No.
Yeah, sure.
No.
Sure.
Okay, we're going through the rest of the
Jokes.
schedule. We have Thursday Night Football versus the
Yes.
Eagles October 9th, and then
Loss.
they have the
yeah.
bye. No,
No,
well,
it's the
not the bye.
Broncos.
Sorry,
It's the Broncos.
Then it's the
It's
Broncos.
the Broncos in
and then
Denver.
It's the Eagles again.
and then the
Like
God.
2 Eagles
That's family
within
weekend. I'll be
that
busy.
many?
Oh no, that's Sunday.
No,
Just
it's-
kidding.
it's
I
That's
don't do
Sunday.
Sunday,
anything
so you won't be busy. You're gonna have to watch.
It's family weekend Saturday, Grace.
Saturday.
Oh, I
And then
forgot. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. And then the Niners at home, Halloween
And then the
weekend.
Bears.
The Bears. All right, you
Bears.
know what?
They can win that Bears
They can
game.
win the game against the Bears.
I think they can.
They can definitely win
I
the
think they
game
might be
against
able to
the
upset the 49ers.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
that, but I didn't want to seem too optimistic. I think
No,
it
yeah.
depends where they are health wise.
Well,
Yeah.
I really don't. If Jackson Dart's starting, the season's probably over.
yeah.
That's how I feel about
If
that.
he's starting in like week, what was the Niners game week? Like
It's week
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's week 9. It's already halfway through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's week 9 and he's starting, well, that season's already over. If that's how
I
that
think so.
happens
Yeah.
anyway.
And then they play the Packers. Oh,
They're
yikes!
losing
That's
that game.
70-0 kind
And
of.
I was gonna
Literally.
say, and then
They're
the-
also losing to the Lions.
yes,
And then they beat the Patriots.
They're
on
gonna beat
No.
the Patriots.
Nope, not happening.
Commanders again. They can
And
beat the
They
Commanders.
could beat the
Commanders.
Commanders.
Maybe they could beat the
They
Commanders.
can beat the commies.
Depends where Jaden Daniels is. I think.
Yes.
Then the Vikings.
No.
No.
Well,
Well,
honestly,
Unless
you never
if JJ's
know.
back, which he will be at that point.
You never know
Probably-
with
probably
this
lost.
that situation.
The
with
Giants
JJ
could come out of the
situation.
season winning 2 games.
Or they could low-key win 5.
The ceiling
Raiders,
was...
They could beat the Raiders.
The ceiling
they could
was,
beat the Raiders.
and
they
very
could beat
sorry.
the Cowboys. The Cowboys at home here.
Now that they've made me believe that they can
could
beat the Cowboys, I'm like,
Cowboys.
anything's
Yes.
possible. The sky's the limit.
That's how I feel about it. They're
And
not gonna
except the Eagles. I
they
would
can't
never
beat
give
the
them the win
Eagles.
against the Eagles, I fear.
But I feel like the rest of their schedule, it's like there's possibility.
There are
maybe not the
possibilities.
Packers.
If they can
There are
pull
possibilities.
everything together,
They're not beating the
They're not
Packers.
beating the Packers. If
That's,
they can pull
we can't
everything,
even question that.
if they can pull everything together at the right time,
Yes.
they can win some games. Don't think they're a playoff team though.
I agree.
But,
No, I don't agree. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I think playoff team Grace.
No,
Push to the playoffs.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All
We are
right.
chugging the Kool-Aid.
Drink
dude.
the Kool-Aid,
Dude,
Grace.
it's
You
gonna
gotta.
be a 40, it's gonna
you
be
gotta
a 40
lock
spot
in.
from Kansas City tomorrow, and we're gonna be like, wow.
No, but
I don't think it's going to be that bad.
I truly believe that, as a fan, I'm not a fan of either of those teams. So, objectively, I do believe the Giants could win this game.
I
An
think they
independent
can. I don't
observer.
know if they will.
What?
An independent observer, Kate Cox.
An independent observer. I'm also a Chiefs hater, so.
Well,
Oh.
okay, so not
Well, handing Patrick
entirely
Mahomes his
on
first
board.
4-game losing streak in his career would be awesome.
taking that
Incredible.
apart and just looking at it from the perspective of just somebody that's interested, it's I genuinely do believe that the Giants could win this game because of the situation that the Chiefs in. They haven't been in this situation in
Well, that's desperation, and that's
That's
when
since
Patrick,
2014.
Desperation
Since
could
20,
win them
but
the
since
game.
and that's when Patrick
2014 they
Mahomes
haven't.
goes for 1,000
wait,
yards.
But 2014 they was the last time they went 0-2 with the first games, and they didn't make the playoffs that year.
They
Not
had
It's a
wrong.
Patrick Mahomes back then.
possibility.
It
It's
is
I'm just
also-
What was that, Alex
Grace. I'm
Smith?
trying to give
I
you
think
hope
so.
here.
No, but I need to I have to quell my beliefs because if I start believing too much, it's gonna hurt extra
Yeah.
tomorrow if
Tomorrow.
they lose. Even though I'll be at the Islanders preseason game, so I will
Awesome.
actually not be
It's
watching.
at night?
It is at 7 p.m. for whatever reason.
Really?
I don't really get
I
it.
thought the
Interesting.
preseason games are always
Ranger-
like
so-
1 o'clock.
Day game.
You would think
Yeah.
so. You would think on a Sunday. I've been to preseason games on a Friday night, but Rangers Devils tomorrow is at 1 p.m. and I'm like, why
Yeah.
couldn't we
That's
do
why
that?
that's why me and Lydia are going golfing at
At
7
the crack
a.m.
of dawn.
Yeah.
I don't really, whatever. It's not relevant to the segment. We'll talk about the Islanders later. I'm hype about them being back. But right now we got to head to break, and then we're going to go to the green. We're going to go to gangrene, which I still think is funny because
What
it's
a
also
transition.
a disease. We're going to
That's
go over
also
to
a disease.
gangrene
That's a great way to describe
for
the Jets.
the Jets. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Grace McCarron, and I'm one of your 2025 New York Mets beat reporters for WFUV Sports. Follow along on X at Grace McCarron_ for live game updates, features, and other inside content live from Queens all season long. From Lindor's leadoff blasts to polar bear bombs by Pete Alonso, WFUV Sports has you covered every step of the way as the Mets make the charge towards October. WFUV is your home for New York sports.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
We are back to talk a little more football. We have to talk about gangrene. I'm not going to be able to stop saying gangrene now because I think it's so funny that that's what they're called. We're going to talk about the Jets, who are also 0-2 to start the season. Played the Steelers, Aaron Rodgers' revenge game, if you want to call it that. And then they played the Bills last week, which I think everybody knew how that was going to go because the Bills might be the best team in football.
Yep.
So, okay, fine. Expectations low for that one. And then week 3, they play the Bucs in Tampa tomorrow at 1 p.m. I think Aaron Glenn, their head coach, who I love. I love Aaron Glenn.
I like Aaron Glenn a lot.
He's great for that team.
Yeah.
He said the following after last week: big ships turn slow. As in, the team is, how I interpreted it was, the team is rebuilding, and it's going to take a long time for them to, like, look really good.
Constant rebuild.
I love when when the coaches use like the weirdest little metaphors to try to describe their teams.
Me too.
Like what?
This is like honestly
ships.
That's a Jim Harbaughism. I feel like Harbaugh is always talking about.
True.
Oh my God! Remember, this is totally off topic, but we will talk about the Jets in a second after I point this out. Do you guys remember last season when Jim Harbaugh said, "I'm going to be like Moses and lean on my staff"? I think about that
funny
every day.
But like
iconic
but
line.
he used it in an unironic way, so it wasn't. It's like
it was so funny. He was dead serious.
Yeah, like
he was
when they
literally
say those things,
deadpan.
dead, like so serious. It's like
they're not.
You know what's coming out of your mouth,
right? Like I would not be able if I was a coach. I would not be able to say that without laughing. But
no.
Jim Harbaugh is like, I'm gonna lean on my staff, just like Moses. He called himself Moses, basically. Unbelievable stuff. I love Jim Harbaugh. These two might be my favorite coaches in the NFL.
They're
so funny.
It's so funny.
But
unintentionally.
But tomorrow, the big thing with the Jets, Justin Fields will not be playing. He's out with a concussion. So it'll be Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor is back.
The journeyman, the ex-Giant, the long-storied veteran, long career.
He's going to open up their passing game.
I was going to say, you know what? Maybe he'll fix whatever's going on over there. But listen, I don't think anyone really expected the Jets to. Well, okay, we did not expect the Jets to be any good. I think their fans, I feel like, always think they're going to be good, and I'm like, what are we doing here? They have too much belief.
It's just the delusion.
My entire extended family is Jets fans. They had no belief in the Jets this season.
There's a faction of Jets fans who genuinely always believe in them, and I don't know how. Now, I knew how when they first signed Aaron Rodgers before the blown Achilles, obviously. That, I was like, all right, maybe they could be something. Obviously, no. I mean, you can't control the blown Achilles, but obviously that went terribly. We don't have to talk about that. But, Kurt, what do you think of the Jets so far?
I really like Tyrod Taylor. I think that that's actually like a legitimate like piece that can help them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because Justin Fields can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
They don't want him to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And Tyrod, again, he is good at that. So I think Garrett Wilson will be opened up just a little bit more. I mean, the longest Jets pass they've had all season was a 30-yard touchdown to Garrett Wilson.
Mm.
It's not a lot, and that's really not great. So Tyrod might be able to open up Garrett Wilson just a little bit more. You might see a lot more from him in this game. The Buccaneers are probably going to blow out the Jets. Their defense is just really good. And
5th ranked rushing defense.
Yeah.
So can't really run the ball.
Their blitz is almost incredible, and their blitz is incredible too.
Yeah.
So the Buccaneers are probably going to kill the Jets, but they do play the Dolphins next week.
The Bucs or the Jets. Right.
That game can be a win for the Jets. They can beat the Jets.
Shows you how bad the Dolphins are doing.
It does show you how bad the Dolphins are. And I think that is why I think that the Jets have a smidgen of a chance to win a game this season. Not a game, but they'll win more than one game, I think. But
let's look at the Jets schedule. We can go through the Jets schedule too. I love this game. I love
schedule.
Love looking into the future.
So we have the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Panthers. The
Panthers,
Bengals.
They should win. Panthers are not a good football team.
I might be at that game.
Interesting.
The Bengals, my extended family, they do because they're all Jets fans.
Yeah.
They
the
do
Bengals,
like
they are not winning.
They do like a night out to.
Is Burrow going to be back by then though?
Even if
I think it all back, I think it all hinges on him.
He's not going to be back.
I don't think he'll be back.
I
don't know.
That's a month from now.
They could beat the Bengals.
Sorry, continued.
Do you think? Oh, okay. I don't know.
If Joe Burrow is not playing, I think there's a slim chance that they squeeze out a win there. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or anything. I do think they can beat the Panthers. Panthers are a hopeless franchise year after year. Yep. And I think, well, they also play the Saints right before Christmas. Anybody can beat the Saints. Maybe the three of us could beat the Saints. Like, it's not good over there.
I mean, Kate does have a football team led by Bill Belichick, so if anyone remembers, call back to a very old one.
Iconic callback. I think we should make this a clip and just like. So.
However, I don't know how I feel about that anymore, considering that first game of UNC. So.
Wait, that's a great point. You need a new coach.
No. I'm still
You're
keeping
not abandoning
him.
Still keeping Bill Belichick?
I'm still
not
keeping
Mike
him.
Vick. I like Mike Vick.
I really
Vrabel,
like him.
sorry.
I
Mike
really
Vick.
like him.
Whatever.
I really like him.
He might be up there for my favorite coach. Well, okay.
He's growing on
Brian
me,
Dable is
but
my
he's
favorite,
also
but-
pretty
Really?
new, so it's like
Love him.
I don't really know exactly how to feel about him yet. But if what he wants out of this team continues, I think this he's honestly great.
I think
really
he is
like
the
him.
guy to lead them.
He is the guy.
Lead,
He is the guy to
lead
turn
Drake
it
May
around.
to
He is the
figure
guy
it
to
out.
turn
And I
around.
think Drake May has a lot of potential.
Drake May has so much potential.
But anyway, this is
so
a
the
Jets
Patriots
segment.
will be beating the Jets.
The Patriots
That's
always
in the
just
schedule.
come right back in.
When
They
is that?
will
Oh,
beat
duh.
the Jets.
Yeah. Okay, that's November
playing them twice,
13th
so-
and then
and then
December
again, December
28th. But I do think they can beat the Saints. I think they can
Yes.
beat the Panthers. I mean, those are two bottom of the barrel teams.
Yeah.
Like, this is really, really, like, they need to win those. And I do, like, there's a chance they beat the Dolphins. But the Dolphins have a lot. Like, Devon Achane is a fabulous running back. I would know. He's on my fantasy team. And the Jets' defense so far has not really been showing me much.
They haven't
So
been showing themselves a lot, so I
Do
don't
you
know.
think they could beat the Browns?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up, but I
That's
don't
what
know.
I was gonna
I think it
say.
depends on who is quarterbacking at
Shador.
that point. They might be able to beat Shador.
They'll beat Shador Sanders.
But-
I mean,
Yeah.
Browns. Man,
I just don't know what's
The
happening
Browns
over
don't
there.
know what they're doing.
The
That's
Browns are
I
my-
don't know
really
either. I don't think
what
anybody
Browns are
knows.
my
is they don't even know
secondary
what
team.
they're doing. What?
it's a long
Kurt,
story.
You have to
Kurt, be
explain that
serious.
now.
Yeah.
Because
It's not that crazy of a story. My cousin's husband, like when I was starting to watch football, he was a Browns fan.
Okay.
I kind of got into like every Sunday we used to go to Long Island, and he was always there. Like we were watch football, and the Cleveland Browns were like after the Giants game, it was always watching the Cleveland Browns game.
Okay.
So I watched the Cleveland Browns a lot when I was growing up. So like I started watching the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
They're not good.
This
I still
year,
think their
they
colorways-
shouldn't be your number two.
Their jersey
team.
colorways are also pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I really like the orange and brown.
I do like. They go well
Okay, so they
together.
have that.
That's why it's
That's
cool.
it.
They have Joe Flacco.
I like Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
it will turn to dust if he gets sacked, but you know.
Literally.
But either way, the Jets.
They could beat the Browns.
I love
I
how
think,
this is just not
I
a
think
Jets
the Jets
segment
could.
anymore.
Well, we're still talking about their schedule, so it's
Yeah.
like it is
Yeah.
a Jets segment.
Go ahead.
And they could beat the Browns. I think.
I think
they
maybe.
get-
I think
they
s-
get
I think they could.
blown away by the Ravens.
Oh, that's going to be
absolutely.
very ugly.
Oh, absolutely.
That is going to be quite bad. And what else is on? Oh, that last Bills game.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
they're-
even going to matter.
and
'Cause
I
the
don't
Bills
even-
will have clinched
and they're not
already,
beating
probably.
the
But
Jaguars.
The Bills are
either.
already in the Super Bowl by that point.
yeah, Bills have
Yeah.
notched the number
Oh.
one seed by then, and the Jets. Well, but at that point they might be resting guys.
That's gonna
so
be
maybe.
like even if they are resting
they're
guys,
not
that's
gonna
gonna be
win.
like a 65-3 game.
I was gonna say it's just gonna be
Sorry.
bleak.
I just kind of feel bad.
Yeah,
about
this
that.
schedule is not fantastic. I'm not gonna
No.
lie. Looking at it now, it looks worse than what I remember it being
they
when I
have a
looked a
few
few months ago. They have a couple
opportunities.
opportunities, but there's only like, what were we saying? The Panthers and the Saints, and then maybe like the Browns.
Maybe
And
the
depending
Browns.
on if Joe Burrow is playing in that Bengals game, I don't
Yeah.
think they're gonna win anyway. But like
I just-
maybe.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in Justin Fields. I think that's the
Isn't
issue.
he on your fantasy team?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that one for
Well,
the audience?
because
Yeah,
I have
let
Bo
us
Nix.
talk
Bo
about
Nix is
that.
on my fantasy team as well. So,
I feel like maybe you need to change a quarterback.
well, I
Yeah.
think Bo
Would you
Nix-
be willing
Bo
to
Nix is
orchestrate
okay.
a Kyler Murray-based trade?
I don't think so, Grace. Especially as I'm playing you this week
So
in
true.
fantasy football.
They're trading on the show now, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
now
this
we're
This is the NFL
we're gonna play.
Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna play the theme music and just
Yep.
start making deals.
NFL Friday, wherever you get your podcast. Another
Apple-
podcast plug.
Not sorry.
We're on Apple
Spot-
Podcast.
We are.
We're on Apple
Yes.
Podcast.
Okay, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube,
Wherever you get your podcast. NFL Friday,
Wherever.
sometimes YouTube.
sometimes YouTube.
But
Also TikTok. We have
Clips.
clips.
we have
Yeah,
clips
we have
on
a
on
lot.
Instagram
and YouTube
TikTok.
Shorts.
All right, going back to this
So-
Jets-Bucks
Shameless
game.
Justin Fields.
yeah,
Justin
Fields.
while he had a great game against the Steelers, if you really want to look at a game against a team that is good, and then you look at against the Buffalo Bills where he just was not that great.
I mean, they obviously can't hang with the big fellas.
No,
Yeah.
well that's but also Tyrod Taylor had a better game than Justin
I was gonna
Fields.
say,
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor had the
He had a
the
touchdown.
touchdown there.
He was 7 of 11. He had 56 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
I believe in Tyrod Taylor. Actually, that's a
I do too.
legitimate I actually legitimately believe in Tyrod Taylor, and I
That's
think that he might
fascinating.
be he might work his way into the QB job if he actually is.
He's
If
also
he plays well,
36.
yes.
No, he's old. Don't get
He's
me
old.
wrong,
It's a
but
tough one.
if Justin Fields comes back and he's bad, and Tyrod chose 2 games against if he's good against the Bucks and he can beat the Dolphins, because I don't think he's going to be back from a concussion in 2 weeks. That's a 2-week injury.
I don't
That is
remember
at
what
least
their
a 2-week.
protocol is,
That's
but
at
I would
least a
think it's
2-week.
2 weeks.
Also,
I feel it's a 2-week
I feel
injury.
like a concussion type of situation. Already, he's struggling in general. That might
yeah, depending
that
on how
might-
bad the concussion
that
is,
might
that could
that
be an
might
issue.
be an issue for the future. Like, even though he's might be recovered, that might still loom. Concussions are pretty rough for continuous
Yes, it's true.
situations.
The Jets just need a lot more. The issue is the Jets need constant help.
Yes.
I think that's the main issue, is how much help the Jets legitimately need every single season. When it comes to the passing game, they haven't had a consistent QB in a very long time. It's just they have so many issues, and I've talked about this 1,000 times on the show. The fish has rotted from the head. Woody Johnson is the issue with this team. The culture will not change unless he is out of the front
The
office.
fish has rotted from the head.
That's how. What? You never heard that?
I actually haven't, but
You've
I have
never
not-
heard the
I
fish
have
rots from the
not
head?
Heard that one.
The fish
yeah,
does
that's
rot from
kinda
the head.
gross.
I mean, but that's the truth. I mean, the
I-
guy who runs the organization, the guy who owns the team,
well, that's the thing.
he
Like,
is
he's
the
not going
main
anywhere.
issue.
Yeah.
He's not going any. If I owned a football team and I sucked at being the owner, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones, I don't care. My dream was to do this. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I
Yeah.
actually don't care.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the Panthers owner, David Tepper. I mean, we know how that organization is. I mean, he's like one of the he might be the richest owner in the NFL, and he obviously that team is a disaster, and they have not been good literally since Cam Newton. So 10 years ago.
But Woody has to take a step back, and Aaron Glenn has to take control.
I think that's
Yeah.
the
And
thing.
that
I
seems
do.
like that's happening.
I do think Aaron Glenn is the guy to lead this team. I know it's been literally 2 games and it's the off season, but I think he's the guy. They
Yeah.
kind of needed I mean,
They need a general.
liked Rob Saleh, but it was clear that was not the right
He
part
was not
pairing.
the right guy.
But Aaron Glenn is very no nonsense. He also knows that he played for the Jets back.
I've said
back
he
in the day.
knows
He
Jets
knows-
culture.
He
Yeah,
knows the
he
culture.
knows
He
it.
knows what a
He knows the
nightmare it
fan
often
base.
is. Yeah. So
He knows the
I think
disappointment.
he knows the feeling.
Yeah.
So I think he's
Yeah.
definitely the guy. I hope they can at least win some games so that they
I
can.
don't think they're winning this game though.
No. I mean,
I don't even
here's
know
what
if
I
there's
will
a
say.
chance there.
I mean their the Bucks defense is really good. What I will say is their O-line is banged up.
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
Tristan Wirfs is not returned
Yes.
yet, and there's
Yep.
2 others who are.
That's why the
they
Jets have a chance.
Multiple injuries. They have a chance. I don't.
They
think
won't
it's
win.
gonna-
I don't think they'll
Yeah.
win.
unless they happen to.
They might put
squeeze
up
it
some
out,
sort of
but-
fight though. It's not going to be a
Yeah,
blowout.
I don't think it'll be a blowout.
They'll put up a fight. The Jets.
But also
they-
Baker
but
Mayfield's
they're
been very good.
If
And
you
the
just-
Jets defense has been
exactly.
quite bad.
If you don't put up a
Exactly.
fight, Aaron Glenn has shown what happens, and you get left on the side of the road, aka cut from the team. So I think that's true.
I liked that analogy.
All right.
That's
Well, it's time to take a trip back into Manhattan or not Manhattan, I'm sorry. We're going to go to Queens after this break. We're going to take the NJ Transit, and then we're going to take either the 7 train or the LIRR,
Grand
depending on your
Central.
preference. I personally prefer the LIRR because
Take the
it's only
7
20
train.
minutes. But anyway, we'll be right back. We're going to talk about some Mets.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
I'm Kurt Sippel, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
Hey everyone, it's Lydia Perner.
And Grace McCarron.
And we are two of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports.
All right, I was actually just kidding before. We're going past Queens a little bit, and we're going to Long Island. We're taking the LIRR for sure this time. And at one point we will
Islanders
be.
First?
We will. No, we don't have to do Islanders first. I'll let Lydia do Rangers first because she's our special guest. We have Lydia Perner, Rangers beat reporter.
Morning.
Special guest.
Good
morning. We have some hockey to talk about before the preseason opens up this weekend. Rangers Devils tomorrow at 1.
Yes.
1 o'clock at the Rock.
And Islanders Flyers at 7 for some reason. I will be there. But Lydia, how are you feeling about the Rangers?
Oh, Stanley Cup season. Igor Shesterkin said it either yesterday or today.
All he said was Stanley Cup.
Yeah, they said, "What's the expectation?
Who's gonna win it?
What's the expectations for the season?" He was asked, and he said 2 words: Stanley Cup. And I told everyone in that room over there a couple minutes ago, and they all laughed in my face. So it's okay. I think if you just have faith, anything can happen. And
I've been telling myself that for 20 years with all my sports teams.
True. You are a Mets, Nets, Giants.
Yeah, you kind of
You're
got
also
It's a
a
tough
Giants
life
fan.
for you.
You're also a Giants fan,
You have a
Lydia.
tough
Yeah,
life,
well,
Kurt.
the
That's
Giants
one-
won the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say that's
recently.
probably
And
the
also
best.
a
The
Rangers
Nets have
fan,
never won
technically.
anything.
Not doing this.
Oh, we are. Since they've never won an NBA championship. Sorry, this
Won
is
an
a hockey
ABA
segment.
championship.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't matter.
They weren't merged yet.
It does not count.
It hardly. It's like how we
Weren't
don't really
merged
count
yet.
NFL championships like way, way, way back in the day. Like same thing. Doesn't really count.
Doesn't
Continue.
matter.
No, I'm super excited for the season. everything's different this year with the Rangers because obviously naming JT Miller the captain of the team, big fan of that. I think it brings a new mindset to the locker room with all the stuff that happened last year. Probably the worst locker room to be in the season. It wasn't the best to get your beat reporting start when every time you went in it was just miserable. But the culture's different. Sullivan has them skating hard. They're actually scrimmaging right now, and bodies were flying everywhere. Carson Soucy decked Will Cooley, so I'll have to have a word with Carson Soucy about that. But no, I'm excited, and yeah, I think the Rangers are going to be better this year. I think the goal should be to get one of the wild card spots. I know we talked about this yesterday. I'm worried about Columbus. I think Columbus is a good team, but I think the Rangers can get back into the playoffs.
Is there no nervousness about Artemi Panarin not signing yet?
About
no,
what?
because he's still.
No.
Not
Yeah,
really.
that's not gonna happen during the season.
Yeah.
I think both that's not an issue. He is day to day with a lower body injury, but he does this every year where he just doesn't play in the preseason. Then he's good to go game 1 of the season.
I mean, Mike Sullivan's kind of like the Aaron Glenn for the New York Rangers. It kind of feels like where
like
it's
it.
like they haven't had a leader that has been very hard on them for a long time, and now they finally have somebody that will really check them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's for the Rangers this season, after probably the most disappointing season of my fandom of the Rangers, which is not many years.
I was going to say,
it has
Rangers
been very disappointing
went
for me.
54 years between winning Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were worse
There
seasons
were probably
in there.
yeah.
Yeah,
but
but
we weren't.
winning a
around
Stanley Cup
then.
is quite difficult. So it's like,
Yeah, it is. It is.
but I feel like in the last season the Rangers were so disappointing that it has to be up this season. I don't think that there's any way that if you're not up this season, the fans are going to turn on you. You heard it last year in the Garden.
It was bad.
It was really bad. It was
Yeah.
like last night when Jose Siri got booed when he went to the plate for the Mets.
Except even worse, probably.
It was
No,
worse.
it was worse. I mean, they were getting booed off the ice after every period, and it was justifiably so because you pay a lot of money to go to a hockey game at
Pay like
MSG.
$150 to sit in the cheap
the blue
seats.
seats,
The
yeah.
cheap
The
seats.
And they put like 2 shots on goal in the period, so that deserves boos. But my big thing that last year, I'm okay. Like I would rather, I know this is kind of hyperbole, but I would rather my team lose 82 games but show heart, show effort, and just and compete versus do what they did last year and just play with no heart.
A lot of the time they looked like they were like absent.
Yeah.
Like their bodies were there, but their minds were not in the
Yeah,
game
they didn't
even
care.
a little bit.
And that was such an issue that hopefully, they have the new their new motto this season is no BS. It's like on their shirts and stuff.
Oh,
And
right.
They're it's quite a literal meaning, especially after last year. And I honestly think the best part about JT Miller becoming the captain of this team is he wasn't really around for what happened last year. Cuz all that stuff started happening before he got here, the whole Barclay Goodrow, Jacob Trouba thing. Miller was not on the team yet.
Mm-hmm.
He was still in Vancouver. So I think it was good timing, and yeah, he was destined to be next captain of the Rangers, and I think that it's good that he took it over Trocheck. I know a lot of people wanted Trocheck to get it. I thought Adam Fox would have been in contention for it, but I think Fox is a lead by example kind of guy, as Panarin is. So I think it's smart that they get the to wear the A's on the jersey. Also, new jerseys came out.
I was just
We
going to
were-
say
we
that's
were
actually
talking
one of
about
the
those
points
earlier.
that we're talking about.
I really like them.
These are so sick.
I
Yeah.
really like
The
them.
those jerseys, JT Millers, they restocked but sold out within 20 minutes.
They're still gone.
That's
They have
awesome.
small and medium.
They had to restock them.
I love these jerseys.
I think
Yeah,
they're
they're
really
really
cool.
nice.
Man,
Actually,
hockey jerseys have to be so expensive.
no
But if you
kidding.
use your Chase card, you get free shipping, so you can save $8.
Thank you, Lydia.
$8 off.
I
Hey,
was
you
in-
know what? I will never pay for shipping, so that's appealing. I hate paying for
I
shipping.
was in
Yeah.
my operations class on, was it Thursday? What's today? Saturday?
Yeah.
Thursday. And I got the email and bought the Igor jersey right away. I would have gotten JT Miller, but that's for the winter.
Igor's
Well,
a
obviously,
good-
the Winter Classic jersey, I'll get JT.
Igor's a good pick.
I don't have an Igor jersey yet.
You don't have an Igor jersey?
No,
I
I
feel like that
have-
would be the next Will Cooley, of
I have.
course.
Well, I was gonna get Cooley, but I have 2 Will Cooley jerseys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah. And I have Kreider, but Kreider's gone. But he was like, he's a legacy Ranger that I would
Yeah.
you have to have that jersey. I got Fox. Who else do I have? I have Cooley.
Do you have Mika? No, right?
No, I don't have Mika, and I'll never have Mika.
Well, that's
I
another
got-
question I was going
did
to
I
ask
say
you about.
Panarin?
Because in my opinion, I feel like
Sorry.
my
go ahead.
roommate, Henry Biersch, I'll talk
Shout out
about him.
Henry.
Oh,
Shout out
God.
Henry. I was talking to him about this yesterday, about the Rangers, like Mika staying on the Rangers.
Yeah.
And in my humble opinion.
Well, he's not going to waive his he has a no movement
No,
clause, yeah.
and that it's full right to him
Yeah.
that he doesn't have to leave. But in my opinion, I feel like the locker room is moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
And it's going to feel like the odd man out when Mika's there. He is the main guy on the wing. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be skating next to the captain.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like it's going to be a very welcoming environment for Mika Zibanejad. One, when he gets announced at MSG the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think the fans are going to perceive him well, and I don't think that the locker room is going to really stick around for him very long. So I understand it's really good to be a New York Ranger. It's like great for your career.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that you want to stay a New York Ranger for your life. I just don't think it's going to make sense career-wise eventually for him to stay a New York Ranger, just because I don't think it's going to be a very welcoming place for him eventually.
I mean, I think like that. Those are all things that I would agree with, but I think just to, I guess, take the other side of that, it is really a fresh start for everyone bringing in. Mike
Everything's
Sullivan.
brand new.
So the hope is that if because Mika was a great player, in 2020, 2021, like right out of COVID, he was the Rangers, like, he was a great player from 2017 to 2021, and then he kind of fell off a bit. Actually, no, that's not true. He was good in like 2022. He just had a horrible last season.
Yeah, he should have a bounce back year.
Yeah, and I think that's what Rangers fans, more than like as much as we want to hate on him, you also just really, really hope that he can get back to that level, because if Mika can be like what he was, then that's a scary top six. Like,
yeah.
I think the Rangers still have a great top six. I think he'll be playing, like you said, with Miller and Cooley. So that's like, I loved that line at the end of last year, and not just because Cooley was on it, but because I think they had an identity. I think they had, Cooley's that like body that'll go to the net, and like, JT is kind of a more creative player, but also has like Cooley style play, and then Mika's like the skill guy on that line. So if he puts pucks on net and the other two crash, then that's how they got a lot of dirty goals.
Yes.
I remember when we went to that covered that Rangers Islanders game at the end of the season, that line had like 2 goals, and I remember Cooley's goal was like, it was like a nice passing play, and then Cooley went to the net, and it was just tapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that line obviously is going to be a good line for the Rangers, because it was assembled like the end of last season, like late last season. So Mike Sullivan did say that like Cooley probably will be in the top 6, which means that line is probably going to be intact. And then assuming your second line, which is really should be the Rangers' first line minutes wise, will be like Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere. So I think that's still a really good top 6. The bottom 6 isn't looking, it's all right. But I like the defense as well. They picked up Vladislav Gavrikov for
long contract.
Great deal though. Drury really cooked this offseason. I'm not gonna lie. Everyone thought we were gonna have to pay, Vladislav like Gavrikov like at least $8 million, and we got him I think for 7.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And also, but the contract is long.
Yeah, but
Hockey
when you sign those contracts at like certain ages, you know that like the last 2 years of that contract are going to be bad, and that's okay. And then usually at that point, if you're still
wasn't that what put the Rangers over the edge last season, where that the contracts were so bad?
But they've been
and
able.
Sorry, my brain's not working.
The AAV.
The AAV was
Average annual value.
was so poor that the Rangers were just kind of awful.
Yes, they were kind of cap
that's why
strapped,
they had
but
to get
a lot
rid
of
those
good
contracts.
teams are cap strapped. Like there's not a lot of money to work with, so you have to find a suitable partner to offload some contracts. And luckily, the Rangers were able to get rid of Kreider's contract.
Yes.
I'm not happy Chris Kreider's not on my hockey team anymore, but you had to get rid of that contract to
Move
make the money
forward.
work out for Cooley and Gavrikov, because those were that was like $10 million in the offseason. So you had to get rid of the $6 million, and to find someone who would take on the whole contract. That's you just hope that someone can do that. But also a lot of teams like have to hit the cap floor, so they don't mind taking it. Like the Sharks will take on I think they took on like Carey Price's contract or something, because they need to hit the cap floor. So it's not as big of a deal. It's just like worry about it down the road with the long contracts.
All right. Well, now we are going to. Sorry, Lydia. We are going to take the LIRR to Elmont. UBS Arena.
It's not Queens.
It's not in
It's
Queens.
not
That's just
Queens.
not even true. You're
is
not
in
even gonna
Queens.
rage bait me with that one. I'm just gonna move on.
I literally just did.
They open their preseason tomorrow night at home versus Kurt's pulling up a map versus the Philadelphia Flyers.
It's in Queens.
There's Queens. There's Long Island.
Oh my God, it's
different
barely in
places.
Long Island, but it is
It's
in
in
Long
Queens.
Island.
Right there. Nope,
Anyway.
that's not Queens.
That's Queens.
Oh,
It's right
jeez.
next to it. I'm sorry, just one second.
Any-
And you guys say my rage bait doesn't work.
No, this
Kurt
just
literally
makes me
pulled
angry.
up a
I was
map.
ready
just
to
makes
move
me
on.
angry.
Kurt
This
pulled
just
up
makes
a
me
map.
angry.
We have to move
And
on.
now we still haven't started
She is
talking about
from
the Islanders.
she is from Massachusetts and talking about that UBS is in
It's in
UBS is in
Queens.
Queens.
Anyway,
Just gotta say that.
Anyway, the biggest story, obviously, with the Islanders, Matthew Schaefer, their first overall pick in the draft, making a fabulous impression in camp on the veterans. Pretty much everybody that you can think of. I mean, I think Matt Barzal said has the potential to be one of the best defensemen in the league one day, which made me very happy to hear. Anders Lee was complimentary. Ryan Pulock.
I mean, he's gonna be skating next to
complimentary.
him, so
Yeah.
I think the Islanders have.
I actually like the Scott Mayfield tandem too. that
I
they've
think
been
the
running.
Islanders
Scott
have.
Mayfield stinks at hockey.
Yes, sometimes.
He literally single-handedly
Maybe not
sold the
this year.
Stadium Series a couple years ago.
Okay, that was 2 years ago. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway,
I was there.
I
It
know.
was electric.
They are getting Matt Barzal back after his injury-riddled second half. He missed the majority of the end of the season. He's back. They had to do some line rearranging, obviously, especially on defense, because Mike Riley and Noah Dobson are both gone. Kind of sad about Mike Riley, but
You should be sad about Noah
happens.
Dobson. He was your best defenseman.
was gonna say.
And your
kind of
fans
sad
literally
about
were
him.
just like,
I was never
bye.
rooting. I wasn't like actively like get this man off my hockey team, but like the Isles fans hated him last year, and I don't think that was
He was your
entirely correct.
He's better than Alexander Romanov. He was your best defenseman. It's not even up for debate.
Anyway, that was clearly just not. I think that was just not working out at some point. And that happens. But I'll just keep it quick with the Islanders because we do have to actually talk about the Mets next segment. But
True.
keeping expectations low-ish with the Islanders, they're kind of rebuilding. They have the new GM. Lou Lamoriello is out at GM, which I think is a move that everybody wanted, pretty much, in the fan base. And it's just a new year. I think a lot of this year is going to be seeing what Schaefer brings to the table, especially if he makes the opening night roster. But obviously you cannot put the entire team on an 18-year-old. So
Who gets guacamole and
All
Yeah,
right,
can we
guys,
talk about
that
covered
real
this.
quick?
We covered this.
we talked about it in the.
Guys,
He has an interesting bagel order.
He's 18 and he's a boy. Like he might be a little bit
But
confused.
guacamole
He's
and
guacamole.
cream cheese. And cream cheese.
Guacamole is just a diabolical pick for a bagel.
Well, I would put guac on a bagel
I would
because
put,
On like a
like-
you put
turkey
guac on
sandwich,
you put
yeah.
guac
But
on
that's
toast.
gonna
it's
be
the
like
same thing.
you know, like
but I
avocado
would
spread?
never put
It's avocado spread's nasty.
No.
No,
well,
it's
that's
not.
because that's like
The
fake.
spread? Yeah, it's
Like fake
avocado.
avocado.
But
yeah,
I'm
that's
talking
no,
about
but I'm
real
talking about
avocado.
definitely what this is. Real
guacamole.
avocado's fine.
And but
That's not what he gets.
that's fine. But it's the addition of the cream cheese that is
On a
getting
bacon,
me.
egg,
I
and
really
cheese.
do not
I
like
also
that.
here's my biggest
And he
issue.
said that
really
he
do
couldn't-
not like that.
I'll also say he said I couldn't even finish 2, which in my head I was like,
Guys, he'll
he's
learn.
finishing.
He'll learn.
He's finishing
He's gonna-
almost
he'll be
3
fine.
bagels.
No, he won't.
Guys,
I'm gonna be honest. I get it. He's a hockey player, but like 3 of
But
those
really?
bagels.
Matthew Schaefer is gonna
Yeah.
get ran out of town the same way Noah Dobson got ran out of town. Dobson
That's
was like
ridiculous.
the 9th overall pick, 10th overall pick. It was Wallstrom then Dobson, in that draft.
yeah.
And you ran both of them out of town. Schaefer's just the next piece to fall.
I just think that
Anyway,
I think that the
continue.
Islanders, they have stuff to build around. I think that that's something.
No, they don't. That's
they
the
have,
problem.
Okay, here's
They do not have stuff to build around.
No,
Yeah, I'm
here's
having a little bit of hope, even though
Thank
I
you,
don't.
Kurt.
I'm
I
not an
appreciate
Islanders
it.
fan.
Here's what I will say
I'm
about
trying to. I'm
the
trying to be
Islanders.
positive.
No,
Yeah.
just objective hockey lens. The problem with the Islanders is they do have nothing to build around because they haven't decided whether they're going to go into a full-fledged rebuild
That's the thing.
or go all in.
I actually do agree with that.
Well, I think
They-
that this is what the season's going to look like by the trade deadline is what it's going to look like is either sell or buy.
They've never been buyers or sellers
That's
in
the
recent
thing.
years.
They
They
sold,
need to
like,
be
they
sellers.
got rid of Brock Nelson at the deadline.
But brand
last
new
year,
general
but they still
manager-
didn't
But the
sell
thing is- the
everything.
thing
They
is-
didn't get rid of
Yeah,
Palms.
good.
Like,
The good players on the Islanders are old.
Yes.
Anders Lee is old. Kyle Palmieri is old. Still good players, but they don't have an identity of which direction they're going to take the team.
Yeah,
so they're going to be stuck in the mud.
I actually do agree. Like, they've been hovering around, like, because they had stretches last year where they actually did look like they could make the playoffs, but they also, you knew if they got there, they'd be out in the first round, and it wouldn't even be a contest. Like, they don't have anything to go off of right now, and
Sorokin has been injured and too inconsistent.
Yes. So, obviously, I mean, he's going to be around for a while because of the contract, but, like, Schaefer is their future at the moment, but you still, again, you cannot put the entire team on an 18-year-old.
No.
And I don't know. That's why I'm keeping my expectations not that high.
They should be non-existent. I'm not gonna lie with this team.
I think they'll finish at the bottom of the Metro. With the Penguins.
Worse than the Penguins, or
the Penguins still have Sidney Crosby, and as long as they have Sidney Crosby,
that's
I think
they can win a couple games with just Sid.
I think the Islanders, well, no one's expecting them to have a good season. At least you can get cheap tickets.
You can get cheap tickets even when they're good, though. The only expensive game to go to is against the Rangers.
Well, yeah, Rangers fans go.
Yeah, because
it's really hurtful.
That was
a gig. Rangers fans
are
so Ferda.
Oh my God.
That's
anyway, all right, we gotta wrap this up. I will just mention one thing about the New Jersey Devils. Luke Hughes not yet signed. Tom Fitzgerald not happy about it. Kurt, any closing thoughts?
I think the Devils are going to be the same thing they were last year, and that's kind of mid. I think that's pretty much it.
Lydia?
Let's go Rangers.
Kate's like,
I mean,
it's like go Bruins.
Go Bruins.
No,
go Bruins.
wrong.
Go Bruins.
Luke Cooley is the best player in the NHL.
And
all
that
right,
is where we will. All right. All right. We are hopping back on the. I'm trying to do the transportation thing. the whole time.
right to Citi Field.
Hop on the LIRR again.
Well, you were in Jersey. You just
and
ended in Jersey, so.
Oh, that's so true.
Lydia's
you kind of have like.
I think you're the perfect transition is the Mets segment next.
Yes.
So the Mets segment is the fact that the Rizzler was at the game last night.
Rizzler was at the game last night.
True, he was.
For some
So if
reason,
you want to hear them talk about the Rizzler.
Yeah, the Rizzler.
I was excited.
The Rizzler loves the Mets, and so do Kurt and I. So we're gonna go right to break, and we will be right back to talk about the Mets. Thank you, Lydia, for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey Devils fans, Tucker Austin here from WFUV Sports, one of your New Jersey Devils beat reporters for the 2025-26 season. From Hughes Brothers Havoc to Heischer hat tricks and Markstrom masterclasses, I'll have you covered live from the Prudential Center for all things Jersey hockey. Follow me on X at @Taustin_24, where I'll have live game updates, analysis, and post-game coverage all season long as the Black and Red look to bring Lord Stanley back to the Rock. WFUV Sports is your home for everything New Jersey Devils.
Hi, I'm Ashley Went, one of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Diaz.
And I'm Mary Hannah Gallagher.
And we're the hosts of All In, a women's sports podcast.
On All In, we discuss everything women's sports, from the WNBA, the AUSL, and NWSL.
No matter the sport, we have you covered.
You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
All In is a production of WFUV Sports.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
We're back. We're returning. We've taken. Where were we? We were at the Devils, so we are taking the NJ Transit back to Manhattan, and then we're taking the LIRR to Mets Willets Point. We have to talk about the New York Mets.
The Mets.
We're just feeling good. Kurt had to step out momentarily, but he will be back
He'll be right
shortly
back.
because this is his segment, and this is my
This is what he
segment.
wants to
It's
talk
really
about.
all of our segments,
Yeah.
but this is really what we look forward to on this show. Is
Yeah, my
yammering.
number 2 team.
Yammering and yammering and yammering about
Yeah.
the Mets are like your number 2 team.
Yes, we've
Aw.
had this conversation because my dad was obsessed with them when he was
Oh,
younger.
right, I remember
In
that now.
1984, he
Yeah.
literally destroyed my grandfather because he was rooting for the Mets.
Yeah.
He's
oh,
never
86, you mean like in the World
yes,
Series?
yes,
Yeah.
sorry, 86.
That's
yes. Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That was
Well,
I
so
think
this is
that
also
put a
your
strain
segment.
on their relationship for sure. That's like his worst moment of all time. He's like, I can't believe I did that. But he was a pitcher, so he was obsessed with the pitching staff at that point.
Yeah.
And just wanted to be one of them. So
Yeah.
I kind of understand. But yeah, the Mets are like our number 2.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. They won, obviously, in the thick of the wild card race. As it stands, I believe they still. Let me check this. I have not checked it since last night, but I've been obsessively
still in it.
checking. They're 2 games ahead of the Reds. The Reds won last night, and then the Mets won last night. They won the opener over the Nationals. That was a good baseball game by them. It looked bad. There's Kurt. Looked bad there for a second. That third inning was pretty rough, but they got through it. Juan Soto, 42 home runs, career high, mind you.
And he's having a bad season, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm hearing he's having a down year. You can make your own decisions
you have a
on
down
that.
year
He
when
might
you hit 42
it's-
home runs.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
steal
could go
35
40-40.
bases.
There is a world
yeah.
in which he goes 40-40.
There
It would
is.
not be that crazy. But he'd have to. I think he has 37 steals. He'd have to steal 3 more bases. Could happen.
That is not that great. He steals like a base a game.
I would
now.
say that's very possible.
It's possible.
Especially if they
He's
make the
got like a
wild
week.
card.
Yeah.
He's playing
well,
against
no,
the
I mean in
Nationals.
regular season.
He's playing
Yeah.
against the
Yeah.
Nationals twice, which they can do that.
Yeah.
And then he's playing against the Cubs, which again, it could happen, and the Marlins.
Yeah.
If he goes 40-40,
Oh God. That would
He
and
could
people
do
talk
that.
about he's having a bad year this year. When mind you, he hasn't stolen more than I think 11 bases his entire
I
career.
was gonna say we're gonna
Yeah.
fire up baseball reference and check on that, but
So, and he's having a bad year, ladies
He's
and
having a
gentlemen.
bad year.
yeah.
Yep.
He's having a really bad year.
You know who is having a bad year? The New York Mets.
He's at I'm sorry, he's at 34 steals. Who was I
okay.
talking about? I can't remember.
So
It was more
6.
steals.
He needs 6.
He needs 6. That's I don't know if he's gonna do that.
Maybe
but you
push
know
He
what?
will.
But it's
Regardless,
possible.
He's
He
it's
looks
a
like he
third-
wants it.
possibility.
He looks like he wants it. I think he probably wants it.
If he
really
does,
bad,
if he does
but-
almost 1 a game, that's
Pretty good.
He would have it. What, they have 8 games left? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
They won their series with the Padres during the week, which made me feel a lot better
Right.
because I was there Wednesday, which was the loss of the series.
What a game.
Okay.
It's starting, sometimes I feel like when I go for work, I'm jinxing them a little bit because they tend to. There's 2 things that happen when I cover the Mets a lot of the time. Is they either lose in like a kind of ridiculous fashion, or there's a terrible rain delay.
Yeah.
I've been that Dodgers game. You remember, Kurt? I
Yeah.
was crashing out to you. There was a 2.5-hour rain delay. The
Oh, wow.
Mets lost.
I would have
had one-on-one the
I would have
next
just
morning.
fallen
Like,
asleep in the press box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't we do the post game video together that day?
Yes, we did.
did.
Because I didn't do it that night because I literally got home at like 2:30 and I was like,
Oh,
"There's
yeah,
no way I'm
no
talking
chance.
about what I just
He's
witnessed."
stolen 12 bases in his career. That's his career high. He's done it twice.
Okay.
This year he's stolen 34.
34. It's really it's amazing.
But he's having a really bad year, so
yeah.
It just makes me
apparently he's
angry
having a bad
that's the prerogative we're still running after he's been really good the second half of the season.
Yeah.
As well as literally the guy that has been pretty much carrying the Mets after Pete Alonso's had a slump. Brandon Nimmo went through a month.
Lindor had some periods
just kind of been
not
off.
being
Man,
good.
Lindor last night was stellar.
Yeah.
He was hitting at the right time.
It's vintage.
It was vintage. Was
Love
vintage
him. It's
Lindor.
done wonders on me.
And it was some great bullpen action.
Dude, the bullpen
last night.
So you and I I feel like every time Ryan Helsley comes into a Mets game these days, I'm texting you like, "Oh my god." Freaking
it's
out.
Over.
Even with the fabulous entrance that he has. Unfortunately, it's very cool.
The first time I saw it when I was reporting a Mets game, I legitimately did have goosebumps. As much as that's like kind of
chills.
ridiculous.
It's up there with the Diaz entrance.
It's so like if it was him, if he was actually good.
That's the thing. He's had his moments of being
if you ring Hell's Bells and then right after Diaz comes in with the trumpets for the kill.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
But I will say his last 3 appearances, Helsley, scoreless. So that's good. And then his against the Phillies, 3 hits, 2 earned runs in an inning. Obviously, that's not great. But
Oscar Brosbaum was bad last night too.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
what's new?
We're gonna be positive today.
Let's be
I liked what I
happy.
saw out of Helsley. Chris Davinsky was scaring me a little bit at the end there, but he got through
I didn't love what I saw about starting pitching yesterday. I mean, again, you cannot really rely on rookies. Sproat was great his first appearance with the Mets. He had 6 score. He took a no-hitter into the 6th inning.
Yes, he did.
He was not great yesterday. After that overthrow to Pete Alonso, he had some issues. He had some it looked like some Kodai Senga issues.
Oh God.
Yesterday, I mean, I said it to my friend. I was like, he learned from the best. He had the Kodai Senga yips after he made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But he might be able to find his way into a starting role in a playoff situation.
I was about to ask about that. Do you guys think
I feel like
that
Brace right now.
in the wild card he will be one of
No.
Okay,
those
here's
starters?
what should happen.
Like, who's your lineup of starters for those
David
games?
Peterson.
Okay, David Peterson, I would think has to be 1 or 2.
He has to be 1.
I think he has to be 1 because you cannot throw out McClain in the first game.
It makes me so sad that these guys are literally they aren't qualified for the Rookie of the Year this year.
I know.
And they are
Hopefully
currently
he wins it next year.
And they're currently pitching in high leverage games.
Yeah.
But I think you have to go Peterson 1,
McClain 2.
McClain 2. I think they might try and tandem a little bit. See it like Clay Holmes
It's
is not
gonna
going to get
be-
a start probably.
It's going to be
but-
Clay Holmes followed by Minaya.
Yeah, which actually worked out the other day.
It really did. I didn't think he was going to. I didn't know that was happening
Sean
until I
Manaea
saw
looked,
it.
and this makes me very happy. Sean Manaea looked great the other day, and I was like, yeah, that's the guy I named my fantasy baseball team after.
True.
Hey, and you know what team is in the championship is Team Sean
Sean
Manaea.
Manaea.
So,
Real.
anyway, I think they'll probably have to tandem. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping they don't even need a game 3 in the wild card and they just win the first 2 and don't have to
if
worry
it's against
about
the
it, but
Dodgers, I'm not very confident
if it's
in that.
totally going to go to 3 or it's going to be 2 and the Dodgers are going to win.
And who will be number 3?
Guys, I don't know. I'm
So
really
it's
scared.
McLean.
I mean, Tong
choosing.
You know, start him game 3.
No.
I don't know. Putting him in an elimination
Are you
game is
kidding
like
me?
that's tough.
That's suicide.
But he looked great on
He's looked
Wednesday
bad
'cause
every
I
other
was
time.
there. No, he only had that one bad start, Kurt. All of his other ones have been good.
Well, his other one was they were up by 16. So
no.
I'm not gonna he's 2-2,
Okay, fine.
and he had let's see.
Unfortunately, with this rotation and how confusing it is, I will take 2
He
and 2.
had 2 straight losses against Texas. He was out in not even an inning, where he had 4 hits, 6
I
earned
don't know what's
runs,
That
and
was-
3 walks.
That was quite bad.
And then he had 6 innings against Cincinnati, and then he gave up 4 runs, 4 walks. He struck out 6 though. I'm just saying. I love
So
Jonah
who
Tong.
was going game 3?
You know
Kurt?
I have the affinity for Jonah Tong. I love that guy.
Who's
but
going game 3?
Yeah, then who do you think is going?
Clay Holmes. He's going to roll his bowling balls down the middle. That's what it is.
That is.
That's what it is. I heard someone
great
describe.
analogy.
I've heard someone describe it like that before. It's not my own. It's not my own analogy, but
Yeah.
someone was like, "He's gonna throw the bowling ball down the middle." That's what it feels like with Clay Holmes. He trucks it.
interesting.
It feels like he's laboring as he's pitching a lot of the time.
I mean,
and he's been fine.
pitching's hard.
Clay
Yeah,
Holmes
he's
has
been
fine.
okay.
He's been fine.
And if you
I
follow
think,
him up with Sean Manaea, who has been
yeah, I fear that is the word I would use.
But
I don't.
out of the
Clay
bullpen,
Holmes has been fine. Yeah.
yeah, he's been okay.
Well, it's. I would say for him, it's more of a matter of how long is he gonna last,
That's kind of the problem,
right? Because at least with those last, the last however many games, hasn't really lasted more than 4 innings.
Yeah, and I think that's why
And
they have
you
to go
need
tandem.
more longevity.
Like if he goes
That's the
4,
tandem.
if he goes 4 innings and then Manaea can take 3, and then you're into the 7th, so you go to the bullpen. That's all right with
I
me.
think that's what
that would
I was
be
talking to my
better.
friend yesterday about that. He was talking about how all of those games can be tandems.
Yeah,
Where you
because
can do, like-
all that
Absolutely.
all
just
that
you win.
matters is that you win.
Win,
You
yeah.
have
could
to
start-
put yourself in the position
You could
to win.
start the game with Peterson and then have McLean probably close out for you.
I
in
would
5
give
innings, or
I would
the
give
opposite.
McLean the ball in game 2. I trust him.
I was gonna
First,
say,
And then you
Game
can follow
two,
him
the
up
same thing.
with somebody
with
else.
someone else.
he could
You
be
can follow him
followed
up with
but
Clay
I
Holmes.
would start him.
I'm actually really.
He would be my number one before. Not game 1,
Yeah.
but number 1 on day 2.
I'm
if
also-
you're gonna tandem.
I'm also
Yeah.
not mad at Clay Holmes coming out of the bullpen because he's
Yeah.
also been very good out of the bullpen
That's true.
Mhm.
historically. So him coming out of the bullpen is
Not
not a
if you
bad.
ask Yankee fans, but
Well,
they're,
that's when
they're-
it's like-
they're a little bit dramatic.
That's when
about
he
that.
was a closer, but when he was actually in the bullpen situations, he was
That's
good.
just drama all around, as we'll get into.
We'll get into it. But right now, wait, let me look up. The other day, the Mets had a 70% chance to make the playoff. To make the playoffs. Chances
I
of
hate
making.
that the Reds are 2 back,
I'm gonna fan
Because
graphs.
2 is real close.
and they have the
Wait, this is
tiebreaker.
confusing.
It's the same situation in the AL though, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll
but
get
this,
into
this
that.
wild card is pretty close.
Wait, I'm so confused about how this works. Okay, just kidding. I don't actually know. They were hovering around. Okay, this now says 75% chance to make the postseason.
Okay.
Which, listen, at let's say it's May. It's it's sunny out. It's springtime. School's out. Everyone's feeling good. I'm just hanging out at my
I'm
house.
seeing 89.2 to make the playoffs for the Mets.
I feel
That
like that's
feels
quite
too
high.
They have clinched the wild card, 89.2.
That feels too
That's
high.
too high. Here's what I'll
8
say.
games left. You never know what's gonna happen.
If you go back to May of 2025, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, etc. The Mets, if we heard now that they hadn't yet clinched a playoff berth, not the East even, if they hadn't yet clinched, that would have been horrific. Now,
Yeah.
seeing what happened this summer, all of that, it's been a little bit down the line
Mets,
now.
man.
It's the Mets. They were. I also what were they 45 and 21 at one point? That was never. They were never going to keep that up. That was crazy.
They could have sustained it if their pitching was good.
If they had.
But the
good
pitching has
starting
been
rotation.
all over the place the
Yeah.
entire season.
They've
so
had
it was
injuries.
never they've honestly played so well considering the pitching situation.
Yes, they've had some games where I was like, this team should not.
It's
be
the
in the playoffs.
offense.
The
Yeah.
offense.
Is-
Thank God the offense woke up, because you remember earlier in the season when the pitching
Oh,
was carrying
do
the
I?
team, and they got to 45 and 21, and I was like, wow, maybe they are going to do this thing. And then obviously we know what happened. But anyway, point is, looking back, the situation they're in now, at one point would have been horrifying. But listen, just get in is my thing.
Yeah,
No,
make
it
it
is.
in. Make it in because last year they proved that they can be a postseason team.
Well, playing the Phillies in general, I know they don't start the games at home. If you could steal one at Citizens Bank and then you go home, the Phillies cannot play at Citi Field.
But they
haven't been
also
able to play at Citi Field for 3
the
years.
Phillies. I mean, if they got to the NLCS, they would face each other, right? They would
Yes.
play the Dodgers in the. Right?
No, the Phillies, they play them in the DS, the Mets. It would go wild
Oh,
card.
I'm talking about the wild cards.
It would go wild card Dodgers, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
awful.
Gotcha.
Then it would go Phillies, and then whoever else. Probably the Brewers.
We'll talk about the Brewers.
We will.
I'm confused by them. Anyway, I guess what are we totally let's separate the Kool-Aid for a second, because
I don't think I have cool. I'm not saying I don't think what I'm saying is incredibly
okay, I'll
non-accurate.
let me phrase it this way. If the Mets make the wild card series and they play the Dodgers,
Probably not going to win.
okay.
yeah,
All right.
I think it's a tough situation.
unless
the Dodgers,
they suddenly have the best 3 games of the entire season and are a completely different team than we've seen, they're not winning that series.
My thing is, obviously, like, I'm trying to picture Shohei Ohtani, who I don't even feel like we've been talking about him, like, as much this year as we were last year, but has been obviously having a great, he's hit 52 home runs. He's having another great season. He is up there for MVP along with Kyle Schwarber. It's going to be one of them.
It's just another casual
You think it's
year.
going to be one of those two?
Who do you think NL MVP is going to be?
I mean, I don't know.
I think it should be Schwarber.
And Soto should be up there too.
I think he could be
He
third.
won't be,
He had
but
such
he
a
should
bad
No,
be
he's
up
not
there.
gonna be.
starting year.
He
Unless
should
he
be up
unless he
there.
wills them to like a 10-game winning streak with like 5 home runs in each game, which is not going to happen. But if that
He
happens,
randomly
he
hits
might.
like 70 homers.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like if that happens, yeah, sure, he could probably get in more of the situation. But
if we're discounting Soto, then I would say Schwarber should be.
yeah, no, Schwarber's in it.
I think it should be Schwarber.
But they
I
love
do think,
to overlook anybody for Shohei.
I
Well,
wonder.
it's not like he's having a bad year. So I'm
No,
not gonna
not
give
at all.
Shohei
Not
any,
at all.
But-
Not at all. It wouldn't be like it would be handing it to him because he has been fantastic as always. But like last season, for example, there weren't a lot of other names that you could even put.
Nobody
in
was close
contention.
last year.
I
But
mean,
this year,
I
I
don't
would say
think-
that Schwarber
could. I love Lindor to death. He was not going to win last year.
No.
I think he could have had a chance though. I think if he had a better
Schwarber has a better
season-
chance. I think Schwarber
what I
has a better
mean?
chance than
He had a great season last
Lindor
year,
did.
but even more. Grace, that look on your face. You don't even have any belief in Lindor? Come on.
Of course, I have belief in Lindor.
Didn't
Kurt.
look
Why
like
would you
it.
say that?
Didn't
but
look like it.
Here
her
is my thing.
favorite.
She gave me a.
It's
just
just
People
that
on-
Ohtani was historic last
People
year.
on the radio.
They're
if you
not
didn't
going to
see
vote
me-
for Lindor.
No,
just
I agree
because,
with you.
The Mets
This year
were
it's
surprising.
closer, I would say.
I think it's closer
it's
this
closer
year.
contention.
I think the Dodgers pitching staff. Sorry, this is off topic from what we're talking about.
I was going
but
to say, I don't even know
the
where we're
Dodgers
going
pitching
here,
staff against the Mets. I was reeling it back for that in the wild card. I think that's probably where the Mets are going to take advantage of the most. Because I don't think their staff is really that good.
Well, they've been really injured.
Yeah, but again, rolling into the playoffs, they're not going to be healthier.
Was Yoshi getting the first start?
Yes,
there?
Yamamoto's going to get the first start, definitely. And then after that, it would probably
Not
be...
excited about the possibility of the series happening. Like, I miss when they got to play the Brewers last year. I was like, they could win that
But this
series.
year you
Well, last
wouldn't
year
want
it
to
was
play
even
the
more
Brewers.
No, that's the
stressful.
problem. Like, now I wouldn't want to play the Brewers at all. Now I'd actually rather play the Dodgers, which is
yeah.
crazy. And why would I ever say that?
I think the
But
Mets can. The Mets can beat the Dodgers. I don't think it's a
Yes.
crazy. Like,
I do think they can.
They
beat the
could.
Dodgers.
It would shock me.
But also,
I don't have
we
as
have to
mu- I-
consider the
Optimistic is
season that
overwhelming.
the Dodgers have had too. They haven't had.
They've been
the best
disappointing.
season. They've been.
I mean, they're
Like,
they,
every
they are
team-
not.
they
They
are
didn't run
dominant,
away
but
with the West.
we went into this season saying they're repeating.
Every team not named
It was-
Milwaukee or maybe the Red Sox have had a disappointing season this year. The Cubs have fallen off.
No, the Cubs.
The
The Cubs.
Mets
I think
fell
might
off.
be for real.
The
But
Yankees
the Cubs
fell
are
off.
clinched in a situation where they
Cubs
could.
were like one of the first
they
teams
could
to clinch.
exactly,
Yes.
and they could be a really good postseason team. this
PCA
year.
has been bad.
Not bad. He's
he
been
hasn't
less good.
Well,
He's not an
his
MVP.
defense-
He's not in the MVP
his
conversation
defense
anymore,
is
which
like
he was.
the worst in the league. He's like bottom 5 in
Yeah, but he's an
defensive rating.
outfielder. Like, it's fine.
Still
It's
bottom
fine.
5. He's still not worse than Jose Siri.
Like, Jose Siri had like a broken arm for 98% of the
And
year.
then there's like the
so-
Phillies and the Brewers. Both of those.
I think they
teams
could beat
are-
the Mets can beat the Phillies. It could happen. It happened last year as well.
Kate, you want to take that?
I have more
I
belief in the Mets against the
don't-
Phillies.
I'm
just
more
really
really
with
scared,
the Mets and the
guys.
Phillies
I
than
don't
I
know.
do with the Brewers, but I have more faith in the Mets beating the Dodgers than I do in the Mets beating the Phillies, to be honest. I mean,
I
we
agree.
watched the series last week. That was
Yeah,
an
but
absolute
they-
mess.
I think it
However-
depends what Mets team you're getting because they
Yeah.
they swept the Phillies earlier
Yes.
this year. It's
That's what
either
I'm saying.
it's either they sweep
a
or it's like
possibility.
humiliating.
When they play the
Yeah.
Phillies at home, they beat the Phillies at home.
Well, that's they don't have a home field though, so
They'll have the home if they can win one at Citizens Bank. You don't have Zach Wheeler
So
anymore.
you think sweep
Yeah.
but they have a lot of other good.
I
They
was
do.
gonna say, I
Like,
think
they
the
keep
Phillies
coming
are.
up with these
I
pictures. I'm like,
honestly,
what?
literally, I
Yeah.
honestly think the Phillies are better this year than they were last year, though.
They are.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Kyle Schwarber's
and if we
even
have a
in a better
similar
year.
Mets team this year than we did last year, like competitively wise, then I would say, unless there's some sort of, miracle situation that sets the Mets up really well, I do think the Phillies would win that series, unfortunately.
I also think that this all goes back to David Stearns not believing in building a pitching staff.
That's going to have to change.
And that's the issue. That's the issue with this team because the offense is on another level.
He thought that everyone was going to have Luis Severino years.
And Luis Severino, mind you, I will say he was right to not bring him back because Luis Severino is having a terrible year for
But my point being with that,
I know what you mean.
That bad pitchers were going to be good. You signed Frankie Montas to a big deal for 2 years.
Now he's not even in the picture.
He's not even in the bullpen anymore. He's awful, and no one's picking up his contract, so you're going to cut him and pay him.
Yep.
Pretty much. And then you signed Clay Holmes, who had a okay year, I guess, this year.
Not bad, honestly.
David Peterson was the guy that took a step up, and now he caught the bug of being bad. Sean Manaea did not have the same year he had last year, even a little bit. Kodai Senga, disappointing.
Yeah.
His legs aren't under him.
I think Senga
said?
must be hurt. There's something wrong with him because he's so much better than what he has been.
I think it's the mental. I think it has to be mental.
That. But I think he's so much better than what he has been. We know what he can be. He could be their ace. In a perfect world, he would get game 1 of the wild card.
He can work his way back to it.
I think he can.
If he has 2 good starts before the year ends, which I don't think he's even going to have.
Bring him back and throw him in the bullpen.
He could work his way in because he just. It's weird to say that he deserves it, but he does deserve it because he's been here for so long at this point that he should have a shot at maybe getting back to not be in Syracuse for the rest of the season. Yeah. I don't think it's super fair to him that, I understand that the other guys have worked their way into this, but I wouldn't be so mad if Tong got his called back down and Senga got called back up. I don't think that that's such a crazy idea. The Mets have so many starting pitchers.
Yeah, but only a few of them are serviceable at this point. So
yes, I agree with you, but
they're gonna have to.
I feel like you give him one chance, though.
Yeah, you do.
You give him just one chance, and if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
I don't know what the word is for capitulate. I don't know if it's capitulate. I don't they're gonna have to
capitulate.
Make some they're gonna have to do
make some adjustments.
I know this looks like a Ouija board right now. That's not what I'm doing. I mean they're gonna have to
stir it all up.
Have to fiddle with it
currently, Grace is casting a spell.
Yes, I'm casting a spell to make the Mets win the World Series. If it happens, you're welcome. I think the Mets are going to make the playoffs.
Yes, I agree.
Well, that's an issue.
Banging on the wood right now, guys.
Well, that's just what it is. It's you don't know because they could be super disappointing.
The thing is that any of the Reds, D-backs, Giants, they all could go. Here's the thing. Well, actually, the Diamondbacks have the most brutal schedule you could imagine for the last.
Very hard
year.
Coming up.
Phillies, Dodgers, Padres, and I think it's all. Well, the Philly series is in Arizona. Dodgers are in Arizona, and then the Padres on the road. That's brutal.
Yeah.
I don't think the Padres. I don't think the Diamondbacks can hang with them. The Reds, let's see the Reds schedule. They're playing the Cubs and then the Pirates, who they can't hang with. But then the Brewers. But the Brewers have already clinched, so they might be sitting guys.
Even sitting guys.
I don't think they'll sit guys because you can't sit people for weeks. That happened to the Phillies last year.
No,
too.
but I'm saying the last 2
Just
games,
they
might sit people.
But then you also have the Cubs. Yes. The Cubs might
and the Cubs are but we also don't know. We don't have a winner of the Central yet, so if it comes down to next weekend, the Brewers won't be sitting anyone. But anyway, and then the Giants are playing the Dodgers this weekend in LA.
They have a pretty hard schedule too, I'm pretty sure.
They have the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then the Rockies. Actually, they have a really nice schedule.
I thought it was harder.
Now I'm kind of worried. Anyway, but I think the Mets are going to make the playoffs, but you can't. I hope that comes over the mics, but
for the ones listening on the radio at 11 to 2 a.m.
Smashing the wood.
Smashing the wood on this table.
It's important.
It's really important. But I think they're going to make it.
They'll make it.
Know
I agree.
What's going to happen.
They'll make it.
I really don't know what's going to happen after that. I don't know what the plan is after that.
Carlos
but
Mendoza's
it just get in.
Cook.
Yeah. They're going to do a little bit of this.
They're going to do the magic that Grace is doing.
They're going to do the magic.
Yeah.
They're going to stir it up and figure it out and make it happen. I believe it.
Stirring it up.
Yes.
and they're going to do a little bit of that. They're going to move things around with the pitching. They're going to figure it out. They're going to pull 3 games together, and maybe they can win. Please win.
Just get in.
Just
the Mets are able to
that
do
is
that
the first.
stuff.
I can't even worry about the wild card series until they get there. Just win, baby, as they say. And now we got to head to break before we go cross town. We're going to take the LIRR, and then we're going to take the 4 train, I guess.
The Yankee
I don't know if
Stadium
that's the
Clipper.
most effective.
I think
Yeah.
that's what yeah.
I guess that's how you get there. And we're going to talk about the Yankees right after a quick break.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside U.S. Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One on One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
Hey guys, Grace McCarron here with Jack Warner.
And we're 2 of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's one and only baseball podcast.
We'll keep you in the loop on all tri-state news with the Yankees and Mets,
as well as the biggest headlines from around the MLB.
Catch weekly episodes of Nosebleeds on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases with Nosebleeds on WFUV Sports.
We are back, and we've returned to the Bronx. East.
Well, we've been in the Bronx. Bronx.
We physically have been in the Bronx, but we were just in Queens talking about.
Wait,
the
guys, are
Mets.
we in the Bronx?
The Bronx.
Are we in the Bronx?
Why'd you have to
cool.
bring that
Do
up,
you want to take the
man?
4
Why'd you
twin
have to
to
bring that
Yankee
up,
Stadium?
man?
We're in the Bronx.
I remember that.
Oh,
I remember
man.
that. I remember that.
We've returned to the Bronx. We are at East 161st Street, and we are talking about the Yankees. Bobby is so thrilled that we're talking about the Yankees.
Hey, Bobby, you want to get in on this?
I'm not that excited.
Want to get in on this?
They won the series. Sorry to bring this up, Kate. Won the series in Boston last weekend.
You know what? It's okay because the rest of the season we have completely dominated them. So
that is true.
I can give up like 1 or 2 games.
That's
okay.
true.
It's okay.
They did very well against the Yankees this
because
year.
also it looks like currently, knock on wood, Red Sox Yankees wild card, and I don't know. I have high hopes.
So scared for the
to be
playoffs
honest
this
with
year.
you.
A lot of scary things.
There are a
happening.
lot of scary
I'm
things
really
going
I'm
a lot
really
of scary
scared.
things going on.
Wait, speaking about scary things.
Yes.
We can give an update on the Fordham football game.
Oh wow, what a segue.
If you want to tune into the Fordham football game, 90.7 we are live on Fordham football.
Yep.
It is Brendan Shorey and Chris
Carino.
Carino at Colgate.
And we've got some people in the studio
We
as
do.
well.
We have Lydia
you
Perner.
can also listen to. It is currently tied 7-7, which is awesome. However, Colgate scored within the first minute of the game.
Both of these teams are 0-3. Sorry, this is very off topic. We just wanted to give an update for the Fordham
we
football
got to
game.
give an update. Fordham football, it's important.
WFUV is the home of Fordham football too, so you got to give a little update. I mean,
all right.
Yeah. Both teams 0-3. Got to have maybe a win for either of them. So
they're only like 5 minutes into the game, and it's already getting started. So
shootout
should
so
be a
far.
good game.
There you go.
After this, you have to
a
listen to
headset,
us for the
but
rest of the time.
I just wanted to chime in and say Yankees have as good a shot as any to win the World Series.
Unfortunately, that's correct.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are a postseason.
They're definitely going to be in the postseason unless something.
They have
very
Aaron
bad
Judge.
happens.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
No.
Actually, never mind.
Aaron Judge is like
their number 1 player can't play in the postseason.
Aaron Judge doesn't know how to play in the playoffs, and Bobby, you
Bobby
can't even
just
dispute
said,
that.
and Bobby just said it's true. So
Can't even dispute that. Aaron Judge doesn't
Bobby,
know how to play in the
go
playoffs.
ahead. What are your thoughts?
Well, the tough thing right now is I don't have a headset back here, so I really can't hear what you're saying, but I'll just quickly say this. Aaron Judge does need to be better in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't drop that ball in Game 5, people forget that he homered in that game. So maybe that was the start of bigger and better things for him. But I do think that the Yankees' path in the American League might be a little easier than the Mets' path in the National League.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the one thing I'll say about the Yankees, too, is that they've played much better of late, right? Taking 2 of 3 from the Red Sox, 2 of 3 from the Astros.
Yep.
They probably have the 2 best starters at the top of their rotation in the American League, at least. And I think if you had to pick 2 teams that were primed to win from the National League, I still think it would be the Brewers and the Phillies.
It is the Brewers and the Phillies.
Yes, absolutely.
But also the Yankees have such an easy, like, everyone's always, the American League is a lot better than people think. But also, it's not really that much better.
I would be so surprised if they didn't at least make the ALCS.
They should. But also, like, look at this. The Tigers have been
But the
faulting.
Red Sox, though.
The Tigers have been faulting.
You never know what's
Honestly,
going to
I believe in
happen.
the Red Sox.
I don't believe in
never
their
know
pitching
what's going to
staff.
happen.
Or not.
The pitching staff is kind of a mess right now, but if you have Yankees, Red Sox, it's honestly such a toss-up because...
Yeah, because it's totally, I feel like it's totally different when it's a huge rivalry, like, because they just hate each other, so it fuels.
It fuels it.
There's a lot of anger.
Like Red
It's kind of
October,
awesome.
the Red Sox.
that's
I
the
mean,
Phillies.
but like it's
That is
the
the
Red
Phillies.
Sox too.
I mean, it should be the Red Sox.
Oh, I don't like we're all wearing red right now.
But it also
Anyway.
is the
Oh,
Red
yeah,
Sox.
just
Red
to be
October
clear,
is
this
also
not
the
an
Red
endorsement
Sox.
of
I want to
red
make sure.
teams. We only like blue
Red for
teams
the Red
here.
Sox. They're
We're
all
not even
support.
wearing
All 3 of us are supporting right now.
Well, I
Nope.
honestly,
We're
all
really
right.
close
We'll,
enough.
okay, we will
We
talk
got
about the
Bobby?
Red Sox. Yes, Bobby, go ahead.
No, just saying more afraid of Toronto.
I'm more afraid of Toronto.
Oh, you should be afraid of Toronto.
I'm afraid of Detroit, like a little bit.
The Yankees
I think they
own
make
Detroit,
it a series.
sadly.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
say the
Except the
Yankees
Yankees
have
got
done
blown
well
out.
against Detroit,
The Yankees did lose the series to Detroit recently, but still, I think that the Yankees are...
but they should be more scared of Toronto. I think than
so.
Detroit.
Yeah, but they won this. They obviously beat the. I mean, the Twins are kind of a bummer these days. Beat the Twins midweek, and now last road series of the regular season in Baltimore. They won the first game 7-0. Nice little shutout there on Thursday, and then lost the second game of the series last night. Don't really know what happened there. Not really supposed to be losing games to Baltimore at this point, but they have 2 more.
Not at all.
Tonight
that was-
and tomorrow.
I'm sorry. How do you lose to Baltimore?
2
I
errors
don't
that
get it.
allow 2 runs to go in because the Yankee fielding is basically non-existent, and Aaron Boone does not get blamed for it.
Well, eventually, okay, I'm going to defend Aaron Boone for a second.
Oh,
I
wow.
know that's an unpopular opinion
Let's
with
do
a
it.
lot of people.
I'll defend Aaron Boone for some
Eventually,
things.
the fielding is up to the players.
No, it is.
You got to
Oh,
make
yeah,
these
yeah.
plays.
But like, you also
You're
have
a
to be
baseball
like,
player.
you also have to be like Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone has to
who
go
made
to
the
his
error?
players.
I saw nothing last night. Who
I'm not
made the
completely
errors?
sure. I believe it might have been Jazz.
Okay, I feel like we hear that a lot. But
But Jazz also joined the 30-30 club yesterday.
congratulations
You know who did it
to
before?
him. What'd you say?
You know who did that before?
Juan Soto. Let's just take a moment.
Just had to say that.
That was an important thing to mention.
It
It's
was.
important to me.
It is
for
very
sure.
important to me.
Anyway, okay. I think the ceiling for the Yankees is definitely winning the World Series. I think they are capable. Again,
Yes.
I know that's not a popular opinion among some people.
No, but it's true.
No, but they are never. I would never in any year ever, no matter how bad they are during the season, if
Count
they
them
make it to the playoffs, I am never counting them out of making it to the World Series and winning. They're just so dominant in the postseason that there's no reason for them not to do well.
There's no
scary.
reason.
Which is
there's,
scary.
There's no team. Actually, Bobby, I'd like to ask you a follow-up to the teams you said you were scared of. You're most scared of Toronto. What do you think of Houston and Seattle? Whoever comes out of well, actually, they're both going to be in the playoffs probably. But how are you feeling about them?
Yeah, Seattle obviously has had an okay year. They have some really terrific players, including an MVP candidate.
Winner.
The
I
MVP.
think that the Yankees would be able to handle them. I think the Yankees have played much better against the Astros. I don't think the Astros are dynastic like they used to be. It's not the same team. I think in the American League, as you mentioned, it would probably be Detroit, Boston, and Toronto as the other front-running teams. But you never know. Somebody could get hot. I mean, that's what it's all about. Like, even from the Mets perspective, and I've said this to all of you that are Met fans, even though you know I'm from the Bronx and at heart a Yankee fan, that you just got to get in, right? So you got to get into the playoffs, and then you hope that your players perform the way they're supposed to perform. So the Mets are not, let's say, out of things, even if they are the final wild card. It's a tough place to play in the postseason. They can compete with any of those teams. They played really well against San Diego last time out. So you got to see. I mean, I think it's the same thing with the Yankees. I just think that the path in the American League in terms of top-tier teams is not as difficult as it appears to be, at least on paper, in the National League. I think the Brewers clearly are the best team in baseball, regular season-wise. The Phillies, I think, are right there with them. And you got to give credit to the Dodgers, right? The Dodgers are not having the same type of season that they've had, but they still probably have the best player in the National League, maybe in all of baseball, if not
he's
Aaron
the best
Judge
player
and
in all of
Ohtani.
baseball.
Yeah.
And they are still the defending champs, so they'll be a tough team to play as well.
I also actually wanted to bring up the fact that I'm not scared of the Guardians for the Yankees because of their history together. But I will say the Guardians have won 9 of 10, and they're a game and a half out of the third wild card. So
I wish to be a
or
Guardians
the second
fan
wild card because the
sometimes.
Red Sox and Astros are tied.
Because the Guardians can sell everybody. They can have a team of one guy, and they would make the playoffs.
They're very
It happens
confusing.
every year.
I'm not scared of them for the Yankees, though. I don't think that's going to be a problem.
The
I mean,
team
we
I'm
saw
sca-
last year that was not a problem.
Well, the Tigers might fumble the division.
But also the Guardians have to play the
to the Guardians.
Guardians.
you're
They're
saying?
3 games back. The Tigers are 3-7.
Well, the Tigers and the Guardians are playing next week.
Oh, that is
That's an
so
interesting
tasty.
series.
So
Love it.
that will be the kind of, if the Guardians can win those games, they're playing the Twins right now, and then the Tigers, and then the Rangers, and Twins and Rangers should be generally easy for them to win. So the Guardians have like a seriously easy schedule ahead of them, and I would say so do the Yankees. The Yankees are playing the Orioles in 2 series for the rest
and
of
then the
main-
White Sox.
and the White Sox.
That's
So
ridiculous.
the Yankees
Shouldn't be
are
allowed.
the Yankees could pull ahead to win the division.
They got to start making
quite
these schedules
frankly.
harder at the end of the year for the Yankees. This is
Seriously.
ridiculous. Why do we have to play the Cubs and well, the Marlins aren't actually good, but they always seem to give the Mets an issue. So anyway,
yeah, the Red Sox have to play the Blue Jays too.
yes. Well, we'll talk about
And
the
the
Red Sox in
Tigers.
our general MLB segment coming
Yes.
up.
Next
but
up.
anyway,
The Yankees kind of have it easy though.
the Yankees.
So they
I think
should
the Yankees should
realistically
coast here.
coast through this.
Well, the Blue Jays have to win out to win their division. Not win out, but they have to win a lot of more games if the Yankees are going to sweep out their
What are
division.
the Yankees 3 behind the Blue Jays? Yeah.
And the Blue Jays on the tiebreaker.
The
Yeah.
Blue Jays also have a generally easy schedule
What is
ahead of
their
them.
schedule?
They're playing the Royals and then the Red Sox,
Red
which could be
Sox,
competitive,
And Tampa Bay.
and then
the
Tampa
Rays,
Bay.
so.
So the Yankees and the Blue Jays both kind of have a
Yankees
situation
could
where
win the
they kind of have a little bit of reason. If the Red Sox take the Blue Jays in that series, the Yankees will win the division.
Yes.
I'm convinced.
So what you're saying is that Yankee fans should be rooting for the Red Sox in next week.
Correct.
Fascinating. I wonder how
Interesting.
Bobby feels about that. Probably quite bad.
But that would also get
gotta
Yankee
do what you
fans.
gotta do.
That would also get the Yankees out of a situation where they're playing the Red Sox in the wild card.
Yes.
And
I
they would,
think.
yeah, because
Who
then
would they play in the wild card?
that would put them in the first spot, and whoever's in,
Oh, yes.
you know,
yes,
the
yes,
next
yes.
spot gets
Correct.
in there. So that kind of gives them a situation where they're lucky.
Yes. I think
So
the
they
Yankees-
should root for the Red Sox because then
They should.
they will beat the Blue Jays.
I'm not like there's nobody
for the
in the American
division.
League who I don't think the Yankees can handle. Like
No, yeah, I
the Red
agree.
Sox, like yes, the
Their
Red
pitching
Sox
staff
have
is bad.
weirdly owned them this year, but
And last year.
and last year,
Quite frankly.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
I just don't remember. But there's nobody this year who I think the Yankees should be petrified of facing. Now, when if they get to the World Series, which I think they probably will.
I think the Tigers can give them a little bit of a run.
I think
for
the
their money.
Tigers
I
can give them
agree.
some trouble. I think the Red Sox can give them trouble.
Yes.
I don't know why the Mariners aren't no one's scared of the Mariners.
I mean, actually, I'm like so locked into this AL West race because we get Seattle and Houston this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm so hyped.
that's gonna be
Seattle.
fun.
Seattle is up by 1 game right now. Cal Raleigh, the man, the MVP, in my opinion.
Seattle will
He's the
hopefully
MVP.
win that one.
Seattle hopefully will win.
Seattle winning out, but I also think that they can give the Yankees issues.
Yes, because
Yes,
that
I
pitching
agree.
staff,
I
that
agree.
pitching staff is one of the best in the game, and nobody
Yes.
ever talks about
Again,
it.
pieced together weirdly, and they're all
Plus,
great.
you have the
telling
American
you,
League MVP.
Yes, you just gotta do
Quite
some
frankly.
matriculating and
Big words from Grace McCarron today.
yeah.
Real
Grace
big
is
words.
really loving to like mix things up today.
Yeah, this is for our
Baseball.
YouTube viewers. But yeah, I think the Mariners could. I think if they win the West, they haven't won the West since 2001, which we'll talk about. But they win the West, like I feel like there's like some juju in the air.
There's
like,
hope
not
for
that I
them.
believe, like with the Mets last year, I did believe in a little bit of a higher power, like guiding them, because that was just like, how did they do that?
The baseball god.
It's something in the baseball universe. I feel like that could happen with the Mariners because, like, God
Yeah.
should want them to
It's
succeed
possible.
at this point because it's been
I want
so
them
long since they
to
were good.
succeed.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It'd be really cool if they're good.
It would be awesome.
It would be really cool if they're good.
But I think it could come down to like a Midwest matchup where it's the Tigers and the Brewers.
Yep.
In the World Series, and
my
no
God.
one's watching it. Even though I would watch
After
it.
I would watch
after
it,
like
but
the bet,
it would
I
be
mean,
sad.
like obviously
because if that sort of situation happens, the better series to
It's
to
the battle-
watch will be
The
before
championship.
that.
It's the battle of the cornfields. It'd be awesome.
I do. Here's like the problem is that last year, like obviously Yankees Dodgers made us really upset, but like it was a really enticing World Series.
fun.
for
absolutely.
most people.
Absolutely.
Just like the but like, am I really gonna not have the Dodgers in the World Series? Like, no.
I don't.
It's tough to pick against them.
I don't know. I think there's an opportunity here this year because of the way they've played this year, especially coming off of a win. The fact that they're now not doing great this season, I do believe this is the time to go
Strike
in
when
and
the iron's hot.
exactly.
I love the
Exactly.
metaphors we've been whipping
know.
out.
We
today.
have been on the metaphors today.
Yeah, just win, baby.
But honestly, the Dodgers, I don't think are in the position to make the World Series. However, we can't count them out. But I would believe the Yankees would make it to the World Series over the Dodgers.
I don't know how I feel
in
about the
this
Yankees
current
hitting staff.
moment.
I don't know.
That's kind of how I have felt, but I feel like they have proven me wrong.
They've proven me wrong.
Because Jazz has been batting quite well. Aaron Judge obviously is
too.
Aaron
Goldschmidt
Judge.
leading off
Paul Goldschmidt has been
recently.
up and down. He's had some great stretches. He's also gotten cold a couple
But
times.
like not having Trent
Stanton,
Grisham leading off.
playoff Stanton. Trent
Also
Grisham. Forgot about
Stanton.
Trent Grisham, who's real, like weirdly very good, very
Well,
concerning.
no, he's great at the leadoff spot. There's
Yeah, I
no
don't
one
know.
else.
I don't know why they are not putting him lead off.
There's no one else at the Yankees realistically who has been better in the leadoff spot than Trent Grisham.
Yeah,
He has
Ben
been the
Rice.
best.
Ben Rice has been all right.
But I mean, like, look up and down.
No, not for lead off. I mean, just.
But
in
like, look
general.
up and
But
down
yes,
right now.
Go ahead.
It's This was last night. Goldschmidt, Judge, Belly, Stanton.
Okay, they actually do have some great hitters.
I was
hear.
gonna say
Well, 'cause Bellinger's been
but they
good.
also
Bellinger's
do
been
get
really
heavily overlooked because of Judge. You never,
Yes.
you're only ever
Well, also
thinking
last
about
year it
Judge.
was like the-
I was
you
gonna
have
say-
two
have
good
a
hitters.
pretty stacked lineup.
I was gonna say last year was the Judge and Soto show, and
yes.
that was
And
that
that
was
was it.
literally
Stanton-
and
well,
Stanton in the
Stanton.
playoffs, but like
but
it
only in the
felt like that was it.
playoffs, so.
Austin Wells, like okay, but this year they actually I think have the lineup is a lot more evenly.
That's
obviously,
what I'm
Judge,
saying.
Judge is
Other
the
than
best hitter
him,
on the planet.
other
but,
than
like,
him, they have a stacked lineup.
yeah. So that kind of scares
Austin
me.
Wells hitting in the 9-hole. Anthony Volpe hitting in 8th.
I mean,
Ahmed
Anthony-
Rosario.
Let's
hitting
talk
5th.
about Volpe.
Let's talk
Actually,
about Anthony
let's
Volpe.
talk about
Slater.
that.
Nah.
Do we think the
Why are
injury
we talking
is
about
real?
Anthony Volpe?
Do we
Okay.
think the injury is real?
If it is real, a torn labrum, I can't really emphasize like so bad if he was playing with that.
But that's the Yankees' fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely their fault. And I feel like this has happened more than once. So with them, their players are like, "Oh yeah, I tore my whatever," and they are just like, oh, okay. You know, that's not how you can
Either
handle your
way,
baseball
it's a bad
players.
situation because if he does have that injury and they've been letting him play, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
A torn labrum
I
is
think
a
they
big
just
thing.
came up with it for him to be.
Have you torn your labrum?
That's what I got hip surgery for. It was a torn labrum.
You got hip
Obviously
surgery?
different
So you
than
can
my shoulder,
you didn't
but
know
yeah,
this
in
I
the
don't
spring.
think I did. Oh wait, no, I did know
You
that.
know
Never
that,
mind.
yeah. But that's like a pretty serious, especially with a shoulder when you're throwing the ball, like, and hitting. That's the kind of situation where you're like, you cannot be playing with that.
No.
But if it isn't, if that's the excuse they're giving, which I've seen a lot of conspiracy theories about, that's also like, I know you want to protect your player and not have people hate on him, but also he needs to just play better.
Well, Anthony Volpe, I think, has the yips. I think that's the biggest
that
disease
could
he
be.
comes from.
Absolutely.
Like, even like him being like a Gold Glove shortstop. I don't know why I put air quotes around it. It happened, but
Yeah, when
like,
was that? 23.
yeah,
That's
like,
2 years
and
ago.
he's been bad. Like, he's just been awful.
Mhm.
And he
Yeah.
has every shot to be good at what he does. Every shot to be good because he gets
And
almost
people
every
set
day
him
at
up
the
as the
starting
golden
position.
boy too.
Well, they do set him.
Yes,
well,
because he was like,
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Exactly.
Derek
He's the
Jeter, and it's like, all right, you
homegrown-
cannot compare anybody to Derek
No,
Jeter.
you cannot.
Well, that's the other issue
But
with Yankee fans.
they
Everyone
love
has
him
to
as
be
like
Derek
the
Jeter.
Everybody has to be the next
homegrown
great, and it's like, all right,
person
guys.
that is going to be the next
Right. Like
whoever.
Austin Wells is the next Yogi. I'm like, all right, guys.
I hate the comparisons, honestly,
I hate that they do
because
that. Think of the pressure that they're under.
because
it's unbelievable.
those guys are like, how do I even compare to this? Because also the comparisons are like minuscule, and then fans make it into this
it's
huge
usually-
thing. It's normally
Right.
like one thing they do
Right.
is similar, and
they
then
have,
they're like,
they
oh
play
my
the
god,
same
it's the next
position.
one. Exactly.
I'm like, all right, guys, this is a little ridiculous.
Or like their swing looks kind of similar. And
Exactly.
they're like, oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
his average this season is 207. He
And I
started
do
his
think
career
it
at
messes with
209.
their heads a lot.
Last season,
And I think it
2024.
messed with. I think it really has messed with his head.
Last season
more than anyone.
Last season he had a 243 average, which is not bad.
Okay.
I just don't like. He has more home runs this year
Mhm.
than he did last year. He has 19. I just don't think. I think it's kind of the Anthony Volpe. If next year's bad, the Anthony Volpe experiment's probably over.
Yep.
But I will. Here's my. Okay.
But they'll continue to push it for as long as they can
Well, here's
because
what
he
I
has
will
the
say.
story that they like.
Here's what I'll say about
As a
that.
part of it.
I do, in a sense, want to give him more time because there are
Yeah.
players who have had brutal. I'm going to bring up a Los Angeles Angel here, and you guys know that gives me a thrill. Joe Adele has 36 home runs this season, guys. He was I was talking to my dad about Joe Adele the other day. Shout out, Dad. He was
Shout
a
out, Dad.
highly touted prospect. All of this expectation put on him, and he was not anything interesting for a few years. This year, he could hit 40 bombs, and he's been. I mean, obviously, we know the Angels are quite bad, but
Yes.
he has been a very good player this year. So I do
agree that there should be more time given.
He
to him.
has to. You kind of have to give him more time. He's only on his third full season.
Exactly. He's young.
Like-
he has time to build. I genuinely think the pressure and the expectations that have been put around him by not the team but the fans have been
yes.
too much. And I
Yes.
think that's probably contributed to it. But now if he's in the situation where he has that injury and he's playing anyways, and it's like the Yankees already have a stacked team. If anything, he's going to be hurting them if he's playing on an injury like that.
Yes,
and
they
taking
also,
up a spot.
That's the thing. I think they can, with those bats that we just named, they can make up for whatever
Exactly.
his plate appearances are going to be.
Exactly.
You know? All right.
So
Well,
I don't know.
now we got to take some planes because we're heading to the rest of Major League Baseball. We're heading across the country to
Yeah, the
California.
corporate headquarters are in Manhattan.
We're going
So
on
the-
a
no,
fun
I'm
little
talking
trip
about
now.
the teams, Kurt. I'm
Just saying.
We're going everywhere.
We're
today,
going everywhere.
actually.
We're going to Seattle. We're going to Houston. We're going to Chicago. We're going to Philadelphia. Going to Texas.
Boston.
Yep. That's a quick train ride. We're going to a lot of California places.
Yes.
Well, yes, 3
Yeah.
places in California,
Some
perhaps.
Cali.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Lot to talk about after a quick break.
Hey, this is Chris Carino, Fordham and WFUV class of 1992. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham Athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
Welcome back. It is our final segment of the
Kate's getting her laptop.
Afternoon. Kate has her laptop back.
She's almost dead, guys.
It's okay. We only have 20 minutes. We're gonna take some flights. We were just in the Bronx. We're gonna go over to the airport, take a few flights across the country and elsewhere, because it is almost playoff baseball season, ladies and gents.
The best time of the year.
October might be the best month of the year.
It totally
I'm
is
a huge
because
Halloween fan.
I don't even think because of Halloween.
I was gonna say it's just sports for me.
It's all the sports happening.
You have baseball, you have football, and the beginning of basketball season. Like, does not get better than that.
Like,
Truly.
I'm like Halloween's like.
I mean, I happen to agree. I don't even count Halloween in the I love October vibe because I just love the weather.
I love the weather.
Baseball, the football,
Yes.
the basketball, the hockey. Everything's back.
The Nets are back.
I shouldn't have said
All right,
basketball.
never mind.
I'm excited.
What else? That's pretty much it.
No, but
actually.
honestly, and also the weather's in
perfect.
New York during October is it's
the
the best
leaves
month of the year.
change.
It's
beautiful.
stunning. It's still kind of warm, but it's
also,
not.
there's a little nip in
But
the
there's
air.
there's a nip and there's
I
like
don't
a
want it to be warm.
breeze.
I'm so
but
done
when I
with
say
warm.
warm, I mean like it's in the
It's not
60s,
freezing.
and there's a good breeze,
Like,
and it's like
I'm
the
so-
perfect temperature out.
I'm so chill with it being
beautiful.
like
I'm
60 degrees,
I'm
and I'm
chill
wearing a
with a
little
solid
jacket. I'm wearing a
40, honestly.
little.
I'm chill
chill
to be
42.
a little chilly.
I just don't like when we get to like 15 degrees. I'm like, all right, guys, that's too
Oh
much.
yeah.
But then
Once
I
it
get to,
hits the
then
winter,
I get to
I'm
whip
like,
out my cool
oh.
hat collection, and then I'm happy about that. So
See, I don't wear hats, so I can't relate. But
you gotta
anyway,
get a cool hat collection.
you know
Grace.
where it never really gets that cold.
Oh,
Where?
really good transition.
Thank you, Kate.
Wow.
Is Houston,
been on it.
Texas.
Yes,
And that,
indeed.
ladies and gents, might be the home of the AL West champion this year. It might not be. But this weekend in Houston, here's what's happening. Mariners at Astros. Basically
So exciting.
it feels like for the division at this point.
Oh yeah.
The Mariners are 1 game up. They won the first game of the series last night. 4-0. Nice little shutout there. Cal Raleigh didn't even do
Stunning.
anything on offense either, so I don't even, they don't even need Cal Raleigh to win games, so that's good. But
he's nice. He's nice to have.
he is definitely
a little nice to
He's
have.
a little
I
nice
think.
to have. Like
he's absolutely
he's just
one
okay.
of
He's
my
you know, he's
faves.
having an okay
I think
Randy
season.
Rosarena had a poor game.
Stunning.
Randy, I can't
Man,
decide
I
on
love,
him.
I love Randy.
But the Astros are
Rosarena.
only 1 game out from the Mariners.
Yes, that is what
and
we're
so
looking
this
at
is-
here. Is we have no idea who's
Yeah.
going to win this division.
But the Astros after the Mariners series, they're playing the A's and the Angels, and should be a breeze for them.
But here's my thing on the Astros is that they're dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yes.
Christian Walker, who was not doing that great before. Isak Paredes has been out for majority of the year. Their rotation, a lot of them are hurt. And then the Mariners, if you look at them, have had so few injuries, knock on wood, so few injuries recently. And they also have, obviously, the I think should be AL MVP, Cal Raleigh, and
He
one of the best
absolutely
rotations.
should be MVP.
And one of the best rotations in baseball.
No.
Oh, wow.
Judge is significantly better in every single
We're not
pull
doing
up the
this,
stats.
Griffin.
Yes,
Griffin.
he's good, but Cal Raleigh, I'm sorry, pooped his chance away at an MVP last month. There is no way you can't bat 180. You can't bat like 173 in a month and be MVP.
Batting average isn't everything.
But also the other issue is that Aaron Judge was out for, it felt like a month. I know it wasn't. He was out for a few weeks.
He was out.
But also,
and
think of
you
what
felt what the Yankees were suffering without Aaron Judge. But also, if Cal Raleigh is gone, the entirety of that
They're not in
Mariners
the
team
playoffs.
is not in the playoffs.
Exactly, and that is the
Kyle
entire
Raleigh-
thing of the MVP.
Kyle Raleigh
is the most valuable player, and the Yankees could survive without Judge.
If Kyle Raleigh wasn't a catcher, he would have been out of this conversation so long
Well, that's
ago.
what I'm saying. But he's having one of the best seasons a catcher's ever
but
had.
he is. But
and
it's
he's
also
one of
it's Aaron
one
Judge
of the best
in
switch hitter seasons
having an
ever.
unprecedented year in
Yes.
every statistical category versus a catcher who hits bombs.
That's what
heavily
Bobby just said. Bobby
disagree.
just said my point exactly.
What?
Judge got hurt.
Judge got hurt.
Kyle
He
Raleigh
missed a
has
lot
been,
of time.
Kyle Raleigh has been healthy the entirety of the season and has been great for most of it. I know everyone has slumps. That's baseball. I mean, that's baseball, Susan. That's just what it is. I'm going to be honest. But at the end of the day, he has been one of the most consistent members of this He's the most consistent member of this Mariners team. 1. 2, if it's not for him, they aren't in the race that they are right now, and he might drag them into a division-winning game.
Absolutely.
Kurt, what does a MVP do? Gets a team wins, right? Like that's the thing.
Kyle Raleigh
Judge
has done
has
that.
an 8.5 WAR. Cal Raleigh has a 6.5 WAR.
But
I feel like that
without
ends
Judge,
it.
I think the Yankees are still a good baseball team.
I
I don't know
agree.
about the Mariners.
Without Judge, the Yankees could still be in the They
In the
still could win the
They're
division.
they're definitely not as good, but
But I
they're
don't know who
still
fills-
pretty good.
significantly
Yeah.
Let's say
good
someone
team.
fills in for like an actual all-star fills in for Aaron Judge in center field.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who that would be, but somebody fills in for Aaron Judge in center field. The Yankees, in that case, would still be as good.
Yes.
I know you don't have Aaron Judge just because whatever, but Kyle Raleigh, if you don't have Kyle Raleigh,
completely
who has
changes the
been
team. He completely
an
changes the
incredible catcher as well as an incredible hitter, which
Yes.
does not happen because the catcher hits in the 9th hole almost every time.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to say about that? I don't think you can really argue that much more about how invaluable Cal Raleigh is.
I agree.
Will he win it? Probably not. He's a guy from Seattle, and the whole rest of the United States and the world doesn't really care about, 1, Seattle, or 2, the Mariners.
Exactly.
And maybe Japan does. But after
True.
that, it really doesn't matter.
Do you
Also,
think
Griff-
Japan is big on Cal Raleigh? I hope they are.
who knows? I know
Probably
Nintendo
not.
Kurt,
used,
but
yes.
The thing is, though, you guys can talk about this all you want, but Judge will win MVP. It's minus 1,000 odds right now. For
That's
Aaron
the
Judge to
problem.
win
He is
MVP.
gone.
He will
But-
win
But-
MVP. His stats are insane.
But I
it's
just
the question
said
of
that.
does he deserve it? I
he
think it should be
shouldn't.
Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
But
it
that
should
was
be
my
Cal
point, Griffin, was that he has the tagline that says New York Yankees in the letterhead. So that's all that matters at the end of the day. That's it.
Yep.
It says New York Yankees on the uniform. It doesn't matter who wins it or not. The MLB would not the MLB, but the
Bobby
storylines are
makes a
better.
great point back here. You could make an argument that it's harder to win MVP as a Yankee. First of all,
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
Bobby,
Second of all,
it's
Kurt,
not.
you're just
Bobby,
upset because
what?
Kurt
No,
and
I'm
Chris
not.
are both upset because the closest player they got has 30-1 odds to win MVP.
Who?
in their league.
Juan Soto? Wait, who?
I don't even know who that
Who are you
was
talking about?
Soda.
Oh, well, whatever.
Anyway,
He had a bad starting of his year, so that's not a great argument.
Yeah, and he's still
but
having
also
one of the
like
best seasons of his career.
he's having the best season of his career at the
Yeah.
moment,
Yep.
other than batting average. If you really want to argue that, he's had more home runs, he has more stolen bases, and he has so much value to this Mets lineup and has dragged them through the entirety of this year. What is the argument here?
Guys, what if remember when Willie Stargell and
I'm just
Keith
pointing out the salt.
Hernandez both
I think
won
a little bit
MVP
that's
that
radiating
time?
off
Maybe
you
they
guys.
could do that. I think they could, honestly.
I think it's going to be a hard race, but also I think that New York Yankees helps a lot when it comes to storylines with the MLB.
Yes.
Okay. We talked about Seattle, Houston.
Hold on, I got to interject one more time. Kurt just talked about how the Yankees helped the storyline, but his entire argument for Cal Raleigh just now was about the lovely storyline. He goes, it's a catcher hitting bombs from Seattle.
It's not about the storyline. It's about how good.
Storyline around Cal Raleigh.
No,
than it is
it's
to build
about
a
how
storyline
good.
around Judge.
No.
Like a
It's
million-
about.
That's just not even like an argument. That's like a
No.
fact. It's
It's
way
about how.
easier.
It's
Judge
about
is
how
just,
good.
Great season.
He can't hear me.
Cal
But-
Raleigh, you can make a whole argument about everything with regards to him. It's crazy. You're
You
just
can make a
wrong.
whole
And
argument.
he's gonna lose.
No,
He's
but
gonna, he will.
I know he's gonna
if he
lose,
doesn't
Griffin.
Lose, I will come up with something for me to do. Judge will win, and that's gonna happen.
We know that.
Okay, wait.
But that's
Turn off the mic. Okay, turn off the mic. Thank you, because I know you can't hear me. So if he loses, you have to do the hot chip challenge again.
Oh,
You have to do it twice. The hottest chip in the world challenge again.
I don't have to do it maybe right now because I still think the Yankees will make the World Series. So
okay,
we'll
but
that was not part of this conversation.
That's
but
not
yes,
part of
of
this
course.
conversation.
That's the easiest. Yes.
Do you agree to the terms?
It's not going to happen.
Do you agree to the terms?
Yeah, of course. It's not going to happen.
Okay, perfect.
Well,
so we have that documented. I'm just going to say this now. I think that, yes, I said that the storyline for Aaron Judge is better, I think, than with the Mariners. The reason why Cal Raleigh's going to win MVP is because he's the most valuable player on the Mariners. It's not about him being from Seattle or anything like that. It's because he's the most valuable player. And he's a catcher doing this. He's not...
Catchers don't do that.
They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a catcher doing this.
And switch
Can we
hitters.
stop pretending like that's how MVPs work, guys? I hate when people bring this up for MVP awards. I know it's in the name, but that's like almost a prerequisite. For any sport, I hate when people do this. Because he's the most valuable player. No, it's the best player in the league. It's the best player in the league award. That's why it's a quarterback award in the NFL. It's because if you're the best player with the best record, you win the MVP. It's not about who is the most valuable to the team. Because honestly,
but it is.
Who is
It
most
is the
valuable?
most-
There are
it is
more
the most
people you could
valuable
do. And
player.
I hate when people do the semantics of like, that's the name. That's the name. That's not how it works, guys. And we all know it. That's literally not how it works. It's the best player in the league. It's not the most valuable.
He is the most
There are
valuable.
best players who sometimes might not be the most valuable team. You could argue that Cal Raleigh might not even be the most valuable player on that Mariners team.
Who's more valuable than Cal Raleigh? Give me somebody.
To the team.
Griffin.
I think they'd be in a much worse spot if they lost some more of their pitchers. If they lost some more of their pitchers, I think they'd be in a much worse spot.
But they're not even in the they're not in the conversation without Cal Raleigh. The pitching, fine, but like
I don't understand your point that it's not the best player in the league, and we have to wrap soon because we're going to run out of time. But
it is.
It's
just not the most valuable player. To their
It
team.
is
there
the
are
most valuable
players
player.
that are probably more valuable to teams in the in the National League because there are bad players that are probably more. There are players who are way worse than both these guys that probably hold more value to their team.
Who?
Yeah, I would
Suarez
love
has
to hear
47 home runs this year. I know most of that came
Yeah.
before he got to Seattle, but he's no slouch. I mean, he's
No, of course not.
arguably one of the best players at his position.
But
right?
who's
And
more
then you guys are
valuable?
forgetting the 24-year-old Julio Rodriguez, who has
Yes.
31 home runs and a 269 batting average and a 6.4 WAR, who's pretty good. That's probably the face of the Mariners.
No.
Raleigh is having
No.
a career year.
Well,
He's
I will
come
say
out of
J-Rod has
nowhere
also
to
been
have
there.
this
Like
year.
J-Rod-
J-Rod has
Never
been
do this again,
consistently
but
amazing
this
for
is a
several
career
years
year for
now.
him.
As someone who's also from the Pacific Northwest, I can 100% agree that Julio Rodriguez is more of a face of the Mariners than Cal Raleigh is. I
That
don't
makes
care.
no sense. That makes no
I get
sense.
it for marketing, but he is a bigger face.
That makes no
he
sense.
He is a
embodies
bigger-
the city
I
of Seattle
actually-
way
I don't
more
think
than
that
Cal
makes more
Raleigh.
sense.
He is a
Him
bigger
on
face.
this.
He is the team.
I think Cal
That's
Raleigh
great.
goes a little
But
ahead.
Cal Raleigh is
Cal
still the
Raleigh
most
is the
valuable player
MVP.
on the
He's
Mariners.
still there.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway.
By 0.3 WAR.
Anyway.
You can argue whatever stats you want. I'll argue eye test if I really have to. Every time Cal Raleigh hits the... do they pitch around Julio Rodriguez or do they pitch around Cal Raleigh? Who gets the base? Just asking, Griffin.
Well, I think they pitch at him because he strikes out and gets out half the time. Actually, about an eighth of the time. He hits a home
eighth
run
of the
one
time
every,
is your
like, 8
argument?
at-bats.
An
They
eighth of a
still
time.
pitch at him.
An eighth of a time he
They
gets
still
out.
pitch at him.
Great.
Yep.
This is ridiculous conversation that you're going to tell me that Cal Raleigh is not the most valuable player and the MVP reward does not mean most valuable. Because the last time that the guys had the most valuable, Shohei Ohtani was the most valuable player in the league.
Of course.
Yes.
So he didn't
He
win
was
it.
also the
He
best
won it
player.
but he won it because of storyline. What are you telling me here?
He won because he was the best player, not because he was the most valuable.
I'm gonna
If
hit you
he's
with a
not,
name
if he's
for
not,
both Kurt and Grace as big-time Met fans. This is before your time, but you will know the name. Todd Hundley, 1996.
Great.
He hits 41 home runs, which at that time was big news, right? He was never as good as Mike Piazza. Never had a year like that ever again. So Cal Raleigh could hit his 50 home runs. He's 28. He's never been an all-star until this year. Rodriguez is the face of the Mariners.
that's not the argument, I think.
In my mind. Now, it doesn't mean, again, that Raleigh won't have a big year next year, but I just don't – I think you guys are overrating the fact that he could just be having this unbelievably ridiculous career year. It happens.
It doesn't matter that he's having an
But
unreal career
that's what
year.
we're talking about.
He's
is
having
that
the unreal.
we're talking about this
I don't-
specific year
I don't-
and
the baseball
why he
voters
should be winning MVP.
The baseball
for
voters
this
don't look
specific
at the Farmer's Almanac and see what the future is going to look like. They look at this year and this year's stats, and he is the far and away most valuable player on the Mariners, and the reason why they are so good. You can tell me anyone else. You can tell me J-Rod is the face of the team. Great. Doesn't matter that he's the face of the team. The person that's the most valuable to the team is Kyle Raleigh, and that's why he is the guy who I think deserves MVP more because it is the most valuable player award. It is not the best player in the league award. It is most valuable award. Maybe that's not how it's voted on, but that's my opinion about it. And that's what I'm paid to give.
If it's not voted on like that, then why would it? Then it is that. If you can't sit here and say
No,
that,
but that's not what it is.
It's the most valuable, not the best player, but people vote by who's the best player, then it's the best player award, Kurt. Like objectively, that's insane.
When they
that's
name
how
it,
is in
when they
every
name
sport.
it,
The
when they
MVP is
name it the best player award, when they name it the best player award, that's what it will be. That's fine.
The worst
That's fine.
player. I'm the worst player on my intramural soccer team. I'm the most valuable player, I could say. I play defense. Doesn't mean
No,
I'm
but you're
gonna
not
win
the most
MVP.
valuable player. The most valuable player is the guy that's scoring the most goals or defending the best. If you're saying you're the worst player, you're not the most valuable player. That's just objectively wrong. That's just wrong. That's just not a real argument.
I don't think you like Kurt. So do you really think that the voters vote by who is the most like valuable to their team?
Maybe they don't, but that's what it should be. That is what it is called. It is called the most valuable player award. The quarterbacks win it in the NFL the most because they are the most valuable people in the entire. They are the most valuable. You can call it the quarterback award all you want, but they have the most valuable.
I
position.
agree. That's what differentiates it, and that's what makes it a quarterback award in the NFL. But when you differentiate, then at that point between multiple quarterbacks, how do they decide it?
No, but that.
I
quarterback
don't think,
that's
I
the
think
most
it's whoever has the
valuable.
best stats, and he's just the better player. I think if you swap Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen on their teams, provide the same. It's just who's the best.
What is Kurt on that? Now I'm scared.
No, because I'm looking at the last.
What's really most valuable? Brandon Aubrey's the MVP.
So it was. Okay. So
I
it
don't
was.
think that's how it
I'm gonna
works.
do this really quickly, and then we have to be done. It was Judge, Shohei, Ronald Acuna, Judge, Goldschmidt, Ohtani, Bryce Harper. Those are clear and away the most valuable players on their teams when they won it. And that's exactly my point, is that it is the most valuable player award, and Kyle Rowley deserves to win this. This was a general MLB segment, and we only got to Kyle Rowley winning MVP. Doesn't matter. I believe he deserves it more. I think everyone else agrees with me here. It just doesn't make sense that we're arguing if it's the most best player award, because it's not called the best player award. It is called the MVP award.
And he slams his computer shut.
Wouldn't the best player be the most valuable?
And that
And
is
he is.
He's backing up.
Because he's statistically not the best player.
All right. That is going to do it for our show today. We do have to wrap here. As much as I wish we could have continued that. I'm Grace McCarron, and I'm joined by Kurt Sippel, Kate Cox. We had Griffin Stevenson in the back on the board. We had Henry Wolf on video production. Bobby Chaffardini is our sports director. He hopped in a little bit there. And thank you to Lydia Perner for hopping in on the Rangers. But we will see you next week. One-on-One is a production of WFUV Sports.